catch everything.
Yeah.
For specifically, like with you, I don't think that I saw you in spaces with her, so I can't speak to that. If somebody else can and saw that, like that's them. I can only speak to what I saw, or whatever from my point of view of what I saw, right? So like I didn't see that when it comes to you. I didn't see that, but I will say,
I will say this recently though, when I hosted a live, she was on it. That was, but she was she's what, 19 now, I guess. That's so I didn't when she was younger last year, none of that. I didn't, nope, not me.
yeah, and I'm talking about when she was 17. You know, like she's 18 now, so I get it. Like technically, you know, she is of legal age. So, but she was in spaces when she was 17 in lives, and I didn't quite understand that. And I know she said earlier too. And I also wanted to speak to this because I think that we have to be very careful. She has said that, you know, I speak and Genty also had that as well. So when she said that, it raised a question. So if the shoe was on the other foot and we're talking about Genty and I speak, she or someone else may think, and I'm just saying this is an assumption, I'm not saying that they think this. I believe that they would think that that would be grooming and it would be wrong, right? So then
Well,
why then is it okay then on that side?
okay, that's see, and that's where, and you see, this is why I had no communication, because, and I would leave the spaces because I was saying the same thing we're saying. They were doing right now. We're gonna partake in it. It doesn't matter if her mom gave permission. We don't know if those 17-year-olds that was in Patrick's Discord and with Patrick. We don't know nothing. We don't know that. So it could have been the same situation. But we over here saying that, blah blah blah. That's why I was just like. And when it came out, it's like Blaze wasn't in. I mean, Blaze wasn't in the Zooms with her or whatever. But I mean, he was still on those lives. So I mean, that's why they were able to weaponize it because he allowed himself to be in the space. And I always said, that's what I said. See, I mean, because for me, I'm like, why give them the energy or the leverage to say anything? But you know,
Yes.
it
So
wasn't.
Blaze is asking who knew I Creep when she was 17. She was definitely in Police's lives at 17. I was also in those comments. So she definitely have been around since she was 17 in these spaces for sure. Now, whether she was in your space or not, Blaze, I'm not sure, but she was definitely in spaces with adults for sure.
Well,
Um,
I would say, yeah, police is live, but they were lying and saying she was a mod for Blaze when Blaze had the You on My content page, which is in fact a false statement.
I
She
didn't
was
see
never
her
a
being a
mod.
mod for I didn't think she was a, I don't know. I didn't see that. So I don't know if she was a
Yeah.
mod or not, but I can say that I didn't see her being a mod in Blaze Space. Like I didn't see that either. If someone else want to come up and say that they saw it and they got proof of it, then they're more than welcome. But I didn't see that part either. But I will speak to Blaze said something about this is what I mean sometimes when motives are being questioned and people are questioning if people are really protecting the kids, because if on one breath you say, Blaze, in the comments, well, what about Mumu? If Mumu was 17 and somebody in Genty space, and just so everybody knows, Genty has blocked me since my first live that we were all on. So there was a comment that I
That
think
says everything.
it does. But there was a comment that I Creep made on Tanya Duet Queen because they went live to kind of talk about me or whatever. They went live to talk about my live that I had this morning. Not sure why, because I'm a very neutral person. I look at things from all perspectives, right? I think everything is about perspective. And I think what happens in these TikTok streets is no one is listening and everybody is so quick to point the finger. When we see some of us, especially the ones in the comments, see some of the sides doing some of the same shit. So like Blaze, if you're saying like in the comments that, you know, if Genty's moms were 17, not saying that you had moms that were 17, but if Genty allows 17-year-olds to be that involved in his space, Palesa did too, you know, and I saw that for my own eyes. Now, I'm not calling anybody a groomer. I will say that again because I don't have enough evidence. But what I do say is some of this is very concerning because yes, she was sister let can you let Blaze up, sister? I will say that Some of it is concerning. And then to tie it into the Sophie Apple Stick situation, it is very concerning. I won't call them groomers, but I will say that certain behaviors that people are exhibited on this app do resemble people who groom people. Now, that is not me calling them groomers. I do think that it is weird for adults, for kids to be in adult spaces and befriending 17-year-olds. And then once they turn 18, like it's nothing you can really do. But if you knew them when they were 17, does that tie into the grooming? It depends on everything else. A lot of context has to be there before I label somebody a groomer. Blaze just came up. We'll let Blaze go, and then Sophie, we can go back to you.
Okay, I just wanted to. I'm here to answer any questions, but I wanted to speak on the Palesa knowing iCreep when she was 17. I spoke to Palesa about this. Now I'm gonna let her speak her story, but for far as I know, iCreep was following her on Instagram, and they had no personal relationship. They didn't speak. They were just, following each other because she followed iCreep because she was the youngest the youngest young lady to go to college. iCreep is just not some regular child. She's like a genius. Okay. She said, I believe Palesa said when she came to TikTok, iCreep followed her to TikTok on a troll page and she did not know who she was. Still no interaction, still no nothing. I don't know when she found out who iCreep was, but she found out because something about her mother. And her mother was on a show called The Real with iCreep. So this is how her mother became known. We didn't even know who iCreep was until she came out from a troll page and said she was 17. Last year she was 18. So if she's 19 this year, last year she was 18. She came out in the comment section and said, I'm 18. And then everybody swarmed around that's ops over there, whatever you want to call it. Then she came out and said who she was. She was never a moderator for me. She's never been a moderator for me. Being the fact that she is 18, I always told everybody, I always felt weird about it. And, I wasn't really cool with it. So we didn't have any communication. One day when they had started, I believe the group Justice, Tanya started the group Justice or whatever. I believe Tanya and her and all of them, everybody were friends. I wasn't really a part of that group because I was doing my Roku show. When all that stuff was going on in them Zoom calls, like I said, I wasn't there for it. But the one Zoom call I was in, I met iCreep's mother. We were on that Zoom call for about an hour or so talking to her mother about this. And her mother says she is okay with everything that iCreep does, and she watches iCreep. For me, once her mother said that, I have nothing else to say about what iCreep does on this app. If her mother is watching her, approving this stuff, that's fine with me. Now, as far as anybody grooming this young lady, she is in college. This young lady is a bright individual. I'm not going to police this young lady on what she does, who she hangs out with, because her mother approves of it. But me, I kind of keep my distance. I do speak to her when she comes in the live. It's mostly about talking about the topic. Now, she is like a voice for the younger generation, and I do give her that because she speaks up a lot about the younger generation, because we need to bridge that gap between the younger generation and the older generation so we can make a future for our community. But like I said, as far as anybody grooming her, I feel like this is just the ops using this story once again to take the focus off Patrick. Now, we all know Patrick has had Momo as a moderator since she was 17. And when I brought this up, Nobody had any of these type of
Hold on,
concerns.
Blaze, real quick,
Yeah.
sister. Can you let No Cry Zone in the box?
Now, when I brought up Momo being 17, nobody had any of these type of concerns. Everybody was okay with it. Nobody said nothing. And he's still her moderator.
Why should they when you didn't have no concerns with a 17-year-old? You told me
I
that you
don't,
allegedly.
okay, okay. I will talk
Hold
to
on,
you.
real quick, guys. Hold on. So we'll let him finish up, and then we'll jump to No Cry Zone since she just came in, so she can get a chance to speak to.
Like I said, when I brought up Momo, nobody had these concerns. But now, for a woman that's not even, a young lady that's not even involved in any of our lives, like Momo is a moderator for Patrick since she was 17. I didn't even know iCreep when she was 17. I only know iCreep less than a year now. I'm sorry, a little over a year. But go ahead, Ms. Crazon.
Okay, before Miss Crazon, before you go real quick, I do have a couple questions though, Blaze, about some things that you said, right?
He
So
just turned 17.
so this isn't necessarily about the ops. And I hear that a lot, like when it comes to people and people ask questions. I'm blocked from Genty, so I don't take sides, I don't have sides, right? I also think it's very weird that official Tanya Michelle was also in them same Zooms and then trying to call people groomers too. But so a couple of things that you said. You said iCreep is a very intelligent young lady, and she's different than other young ladies. Honestly, I'm going to be honest. That is an excuse to be around a 17-year-old just because they seem more
Who's
intelligent than
around
some of
her?
them. Hold on, real quick. I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you were around anybody because I don't recall you being around when she was 17, but I do recall, I'm going to make a correction for you because this is something I know to be true because I saw it for myself. Remember, I don't speak on context that I don't know about. I only speak on context that I've seen. Lisa knew that girl was 17 when she was really tough into her lives. You hadn't came in just quite yet. This is in the very beginning. So she did know that she was 17 and I don't know if you knew or not. I'm not sure, but she definitely knew that
There's
she was
no possible
17.
way I would have known she was 17 because I wasn't around when she was 17.
Not you. I said Palesa did for sure. And I think you had said something about Palesa may not have known, but she definitely knew that she was
I didn't say
17.
she did. No, not at all. If that came out, that's a huge mistake because she knew, like I said, she knew iCreep when they were following each other on Instagram.
Okay. So she definitely knew she was 17. Now the thing about it is, because I do remember lives where it was talked about that you weren't in those lives at that time. This before you were even coming into the box. So this is, like I said, I think this is like right before your era when you kind of joined into the Justice for Palesa like movement, but she definitely, people made excuses for her being there and being 17. I also want to say, like, and I said that I think like from watching her, you could tell like she's a very smart young lady, but at the same time, that doesn't mean that she can't be groomed. I was very intelligent too, and I was groomed. So like, I think like I'm not
Saying that at
saying that
all.
she's being groomed at
No,
all.
no. Yeah, I know what you mean, but I'm not
I'm
saying
just
that at
saying.
all. Anything is possible.
It definitely is. And I think that it's so many adults, like, if you mentioned that Genty, sorry, had, a mod and somebody in his comments, that was 17, which is equally just as wrong. I think any adult on this
He
app,
had her personal phone number at
and
17.
I think that that's weird. But I do know for a fact that Palesa was definitely in close proximity with iCreep, knowing that she was 17. Now, whether or not she
I
had
would
her
rather
phone
let
number or
Lisa speak
not,
on that.
but now whether or not she had her phone number, I'm not sure. You get what I'm
She
saying?
never told me anything about having iCreep's phone number. I can't see
That
that.
I think Palesa should speak on that
So,
because Blaze can't answer for Palesa, by
yeah,
the way.
I mean, yeah, because they haven't been wanting to speak on none of this. They
Now, no
just
cry
been
zone.
like
Yep.
in the
Now let's let
cloud.
no cry
So
zone
now that
talk.
we're here, yeah, let's speak on it. So you So I want to let people know that the only single solitary reason that we're here is because of eye creep and because of the fact that she was in a box with a grown ass woman getting grown woman business, and I didn't understand it because she's always around. And this is bigger than just eye creep. This is money dealings. I told these people that is why she runs around here doing what she's doing, because these people, these grown women and man right here that, I mean, I ain't saying like Blaze was around her, but he see what she does, and Blaze turns a blind eye to a lot of stuff. That's why we're here right now, because he turned a blind eye to Apple and all of that. So you told me that you talked to her mother. Now I know she was 17 then because she only turned 18 just a few months ago. And you told me that because the point is y'all being irresponsible with this little girl. You told me that you allegedly talked to her mother. Like you didn't even know if that was her mother or not. Is that right or wrong?
I spoke to her mother in a Zoom call. She never turned her camera on, but they spoken to her multiple times, and when she had her camera on, and Palesa and everybody else confirmed that that was her mother.
So why did you say allegedly to me?
Because she never turned her camera on when I spoke to her.
Right.
But everybody that
So,
was in them Zoom calls confirmed that that was her mother.
and then we know at least one person, well, I do confirm by you that Palesa did take $100 from her for grocery money.
What happened was she sent Palesa money. Palesa did not ask her for money. She actually tried to send the money back.
Mm-hmm.
And iCreep didn't let her. And she spent the money on groceries. Even she says she felt uncomfortable taking the money
So,
when
like
she
I
told
said,
me about this.
so I create with this money, she do control stuff because police is a grown
I'm not
woman.
sure what she controls.
And well, obviously she controlled the fact that a grown woman couldn't send no money back from a child. And let me
You know
hold
you
on,
can
let me go
deny
to this.
cash apps because I
You
believe
can
that's
send
how
it
she sent it. I
You
don't know
can't
the
deny.
circumstances. I wasn't there. This is what I was told.
right. And I'm just saying. That's irresponsible. That's why we're here. And also, there are plenty of people. Hold on, but no cries on set and lies and hear conversation where I agree, but you never. But actually, yes, I did. Actually, this is like a whole big thing. It's a lot, and why they're mass reporting my page right now, because that's awfully funny. The guy that gives me everybody's comments right here, I put these videos, nothing. He got ghosts. Police ain't said nothing. She been ducking and dodging all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Only coming up here to defend Apple and try to slam Safi, which we already know Safi is complicit.
I would
But
like to
they ain't
know how
asking.
am I
They
ducking
not
and
asking
dodging
Apple no questions. They won't do any of that. They wasn't even present
I'm
during
right
my
here
live.
answering
I couldn't
questions.
even keep her in the live. So
I'm
yeah,
right
because
here
y'all
answering questions.
always running up on lives, but you ain't saying nothing to me since you got ghosts. But anyway, okay, let's keep talking about it. So
Okay, I
I'm
do
gonna
have a
say
question
everything I
real
said.
quick. No cries on. I
Hold
do
on, let
have.
me
I
say this.
do.
I'm sorry. Can I
It's
answer and
been
finish?
one day, but
I
okay.
Yep.
creep.
We'll let
I
No cries
creep.
on finish up her thought.
Okay, I creep. These people came around me. These three people: I creep, Apple, and Carmal. I told you this all leads into the grooming of this little girl. And when she first came, they dropped a whole lot of gifts. A lot of them. I just knew about. I heard the Tanya Michelle. I heard I Creek. You know what I'm saying? When she spoke in my live, I brought her up and I asked her, because none of these grown people had asked her anything, it seems like, up to that point. And if her mama was around, I said she must have been off because of the way she ran around her acting. I asked her, was she running around here at her age, she was 17 then, being disrespectful to grown people and being in grown people business and doing all of that? She said no. Okay, that was a lie, come to find out. And I asked her, where was she getting all this money for the gifts? As a responsible adult, that I see on, you know what I'm saying? And she gave me this story. Now, there's a lot of people in that live. Deputy Duke came and asked her about it and all of that, and said, she wanted to talk to her about it, and wait, it was a petty court. So this is a young lady that came with, I thought she came with Tanya, but that was around, came with these people, J for P and all of that, and these other two questionable sisters. So none of these adults said anything, so I'm thinking it's legit. But then, just everything that happened, these three people are always there, and this little girl being in the middle of everything, even up until the point where having access to Safi's kids to talk to him, all the way up until that. People see this young lady sit in a box, be disrespectful, don't say nothing. Palesa don't say nothing. Nobody says anything. It got to be a reason for that. Now, I got her in a box finally. And the only reason she was up there because she had to tell the truth about this talent show stuff, right? Now, I get to the point she's cool, calm, and collect. She's supposed to be real smart. I get to talking about this money. I'm going to post it if I can because, my page is on account warning, which is weird. But she fumbled and bumbled and lied all over that. That is irresponsible. They don't know what this little girl doing.
What did she lie about? I just want to know. I want to hear
You
that.
wasn't there? You wasn't
No,
there?
I'm saying
Why
I
don't you
want
go
you to
watch
say
it?
she lied. I just want you to
Okay,
tell the people what she lied about.
Okay, I asked her, where did she get this money? Well, first of all, she told us in the original live that she dropped $30,000 on one creator. That's a fact. There's other people that was there. And so in this live, she said that. No, she never said that. She said money together. When she added up all her money over a period of time, it added up, and that she gave to activism, it added up to $30,000. Well, before that, because the original question was, how are you getting this? Where are you getting this money to drop all these gifts? Was the question. So then she said, well, I got a group of HBCU students and stuff and organizations, and we put together this money for creators. And, that's it, just to help out creators or whatever, right? And then I said, well, okay, well, for your own talent show, see, now we getting up to these something weird. So for your own talent show, because remember they asked me to be the host of this talent show, involving me in that bullshit. But everybody got to put in $100. That don't make no sense. Well, nah. But and then she didn't want to talk about that. I don't understand why I have to do what yes you do. Okay,
Okay,
so the
I'm still
money.
trying
Well,
to
hold
understand.
on. So the money,
But
but that
what
the
did she lie
HBC.
about? You
Hold on,
didn't
Blaze.
tell us
Let
I'm
her
that.
let her
telling
hold
you.
on, Blaze. Let her
I just
finish out
told
real
you
quick, and then
she
we'll
lied about dropping $30,000 on one creator. Then she said it was a HBCU students. Now the question is, where did she get the money for the gifts? She telling me all this. Then it was the HBCU students. I said, y'all put the money together to give gifts. No, you twisting it. I was just saying the $30,000 is what I put together over a period of time, and you know what I'm saying, and dropped on creators or whatever. And all of that. She's 17. Okay. Then I say, well, what does that have to do? Well, if that's the case, what they got to do with the gift? Why did she even tell me that about the $30,000? Because I didn't ask about no money that she put together. I asked about where she getting this money right now to get these gifts. Then she had no answers again. Then when I said, well, why is it Apple got all this money to take other people's kids out of town to get $6,000 to Angie for a freak show, and these all people in this J for P and all of this, right? They got all this money. But when it comes to their own talent show, their own thing, they had to ask everybody involved that was working, the host, the judges, for $100 every week. That don't make no sense. So something's going on.
Can I ask? I don't believe J4P or the Justice, whatever that group had anything to do with the talent show. These were individuals of
And
Apple
tell them who
Stitch,
was in the
Camera
group.
Wax, Tanya Duet. They don't have those two things didn't have anything to do with each other. But
Tell them who
I'm
was in
gonna
the
let you
group.
finish so I can go over it a little bit.
So J for P, who was in J for P?
now wait a minute. I
Sir,
got a question before we go into who for
I
was it
Creek.
and justice for Palisa. I do have a few questions. Because somebody did say a question up above that was a good point. They said it hold on, they talked about money laundering. So gifted is money laundering when everybody else do it, but not in this case. So did anybody want to kind
How
of
it
speak
works.
to that point?
They can't explain it. They
All
can't
right. So,
explain it at all.
all right. So I'm gonna speak to your question real quick. It's not gifting. It's not just gifting. It's the battles, and that doesn't come into the snipers, right? These people with all this extra money and diamonds that are money laundering from overseas. They're taking overseas money and putting it into the app, and then taking the money out as US dollars. Okay? That's
Okay.
how
Why do
those
they want to
battles work.
ask Apple no
But okay.
questions about this
Okay.
what she
Okay,
doing?
hold on. Let me
Hold on.
speak to
So
this a little
I
bit.
want everybody to mute up. We're gonna
Cause
let
that's
Blaze
the woman
go.
that's
Yeah,
around
can
this
y'all?
girl.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We're gonna need to mute so she can organize like she's been doing before everybody got here.
Yep. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna mute. Thank you, Sylvie. So what we're gonna do? We just let No Cry Zone go. Blaze is gonna go. I see Tanya just came up, and then I creep. So Blaze, if you want to talk, then we'll go to Tanya, and then we'll shoot down to I creep.
Okay, so I'm gonna speak to the live that she's speaking about, right? Now, you said I creep lied. Now, when it came to the money, like I said, when it came to the money, I believe I creep wrote that in the comment section. She said, all together I gave $30,000 to adding all of her money up. And then when she was in the box and she said, and you asked her where the money was coming from, her story hasn't changed. She says she raised the money through her HBC college. A bunch of college students came together and put money in the pot, I guess, or whatever, and she
How
was
you know
giving
her
it out to
story
black.
went? How do you know her story didn't change? You wasn't even
Well,
there the original time
this
I
is the
asked.
first time I'm hearing it because I never asked I Creek where her money came from. This is what I'm saying.
Well, if it's her first time, her story can't change.
Well, like I said, it didn't change.
No
I
Cry Zone.
asked her.
Let
Right.
Blaze
So you
kind of
pushing the
talk.
narrative. Nah, he pushing the
Okay.
narrative. Her story didn't change, and this is first time hearing it. So let the people be clear on who we dealing with
Now,
because I'm trying to tell them and they
there is a
flagging my
difference.
page.
Hold on, No Cry Zone. I'm gonna clear it up. So there is a difference in not hearing something and not being aware and a
I'm
story
not able to
changing.
finish. I'm
So
not able
I'm
to
gonna let
finish.
you finish. I just want to clear that up. No cries on, let him finish. But there is a difference between that, and I do want to point that out. So I want us to be like careful in our words too, because if we didn't see something, let's just say that instead of like, I think we get so caught up in somebody's trying to push a narrative just because we may not have all the information. And sometimes we're in such close proximity to people that we want to defend certain things, but just be mindful about like how we're speaking, and especially if not to invalidate anybody. People could be lying, but let's just try to flow and uninterrupt it too.
Okay, so
Can I say this real quick? So sorry before you talk. I'm just gonna say this. Nobody can lie. All they can, because everything literally that I'm saying got the llamas did very good. Everything that I'm saying. That's why I did an expose live. That's why they were absent. Everything is in 4K. That's why my page is whatever. So I'm just gonna put everything on YouTube. I'm gonna let them sit up here and lie like I've been doing for a week. That's why we're here. That's why everybody's here, and ain't nobody saying none of my comments. I literally have everything. This man line, all this,
wow.
everything. Her line,
Well, I would
everything.
love to
I
see
and
the
them
receipts
line,
too.
everything.
Definitely.
Okay.
Because how can I be okay? How can
Am
I
I
be
gonna be able
jealous?
to finish here?
Nah,
Yeah. So
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Y'all finish, and I'm
let's
gonna
let
listen to
Blaze.
everything you say, just like, and then I'm gonna post it on YouTube
Yeah,
Okay.
so
because Tanya's
let's let
lying.
Blaze
She's
talk.
obsessed with
Hold
me.
on, No
That's
Cry
why we
Zone.
here.
Hold on.
This
Let
woman
Blaze.
still talking about a damn galaxy a
I
year
mean, can
later that
we?
this little girl
Hold
gave her.
on, real quick. Let's let
They
him talk.
all groomers
Hold
and
on.
slow.
Hold
Can we
on.
control
Let's
this,
let him
please?
talk uninterrupted. Hello, guys. Hello, co-host here. Let's let him talk uninterrupted,
Now,
right?
I ain't got time for the performative. I'm trying to say this
I
little girl. So
definitely
y'all talk
understand
and let them, whatever, and y'all
performative
come over to it
behavior, but
and let me look at
let's
you.
let
Because my
everybody
page
have
is
the
on private right now because they flagged
but
me.
we gotta be mindful that we have to let I can't mute her, y'all. I don't know how to do that. on being the host. That's up to the host. I'm just the co-host, so I don't know how to do that.
And look at how they think
But
everything's funny still,
so
and they doing
I don't know
sappy.
how to do that. But let's
It's
let
supposed to be
Blaze
about
talk
sappy kids,
uninterrupted.
but
We gotta
they
let
talking
him
about
talk
university.
uninterrupted too, because he allowed you, to talk I mean, he interrupted a little bit, but he did let you say your spiel, right? So like we gonna have questions after he talked too, just like we had that question. So there's gonna be questions throughout, right? So I definitely have seen some things that you posted too, which is questionable for
It's more
sure,
than questionable.
and it is. But
I
I
think we should go
also
straight to
want
that.
people
Because
to
that's
have
what
an
this is about.
but wait a minute. We
Because these
also want
money
people to
dealings
have an
led us straight
opportunity.
to
Sister,
sappy
can you
kids.
mute?
Hold
And
on,
the
no
fact that
No
they
crazy.
trying to
zone.
cover
Hold
up
on, no
that
crazy.
Apple is a
Sister,
damn predator.
you have the
Period.
controls. My sister, this not my live, y'all, so I don't have the controls because y'all know like the over talking for me is very
Let these
overstimulating.
old ass predators cover
So
that shit up.
my sister not muting her, so I can't. And there's nothing I can do.
You
But I
know,
did
I
think
ain't
that.
necessarily muting nothing, but I do want to let one person talk at a time. So, no cry zone, if you can, please. You know, I'm gonna let everybody cook, okay? But
And see, y'all, we not on my. I'm not the host, so on my
but
page.
see, I'm muted out because I got my babies. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
So, because I
So
do
shit,
think,
you
and
know.
it's
Okay.
no
Can I ask Blaze why he said he wouldn't let Apple keep his kids?
Yeah, so we'll talk. He let him talk though. So I
Okay.
respect everybody. I ain't got no size or nothing like that. But we do have to let him speak and
Because it's
have
about these
that
kids.
that you know what I'm saying. Have that grace to speak too. Everybody needs to be heard, right? And not needs to be heard, but should be heard, right? So everybody should be heard at the same capacity. So we're gonna have questions for him, and that's okay too. If you have questions for him too, but just allow him to speak. So Blaze and No Cry Zone, can you please mute up for me, guys? Because if I was on mine, I would mute you. My sister, she don't be caring. But No Cry Zone, it's just overstimulating for me too as the co-host. So if you can just mute for me, please, I would really appreciate it. And then Blaze, you have the floor to talk.
Okay, let me say this again because I said this when I first started speaking. Um, this is what I was privy to on this live because Ms. Crizone was talking about this live. Again, I wasn't saying that she didn't change her story. I'm saying that she didn't change her story in that live. And she hasn't changed her story ever since about where the money came from. She said that IQ said that she had a pool that came from her HBC where she was supposed to send gifts to Black creators. I believe she sent some to Tanya Duet Queen. I believe she sent one to Palesa. I believe she sent some to Miss Cryzone and whoever else. I don't know. I don't remember getting anything or anything like that or having anything to do with it. But when I saw it, it raised my eyebrow. I looked at it funny. I was like, where is she getting this type of money? But it's still none of my business at the end of the day because she
Am
is
I muted, guys?
no.
Oh, okay.
So it's none of your
Okay,
business when
so
a
like I
teenager is
said,
around doing what they doing. Okay.
all right. So like I said, in this live, that's what she said. And her story has not changed. I'm not going to check and run behind her and where her money is coming from.
I shouldn't be around her at all then.
If something else was to come out about where her money is coming from, that's different. But
You
I
ain't
have,
trying to let it come out.
oh goodness. All right, so again, so now we're going to move on to the conversation about the talent show.
Nah, we're gonna move on to conversation about Apple, the predator that you protecting. That I believe
Okay,
is the
wait a
predator that
minute,
you
no cry
protecting.
zone. Let him talk because I know you said a lot, so he want to respond to a lot. So just let him talk. I think it's easier for people to like understand everything in full
I
context.
freak want to talk too.
Yeah, I know, but we got to get through Blaze talking. We can't get through Blaze talking uninterrupted, and you ain't muting. Sis, you gotta mute people. I'm sorry, girl, but I ain't trying to tell you what to do when you hosting though. But you do have to know, Cry Zone, let him talk uninterrupted. I promise we gonna get right back to you, right? I promise we are for real,
Okay,
for real. Because
I
I
will let
definitely
him talk. I will
understand
let
where
him
No Cry
talk.
Zone is coming from. I'm gonna be honest, I do.
Y'all already know how she is,
She
though.
is.
You
I know,
already
and
know
that's
how
I
she
love it.
is.
But we trying
She's
to.
the interrupter.
She is, but we have to allow people the space and opportunity to talk. You know what I'm saying? We really honestly do. So please let him talk uninterrupted so he can finish his thought.
all right, so again, I'm gonna go right to where she wants to. We're going to talk about Apple Sticks. Okay, so I have been seeing a lot of what transpired between Apple Sticks and Safi and her children. I have not spoken to her children, but people have spoken to her children. Now, the messages I did see and read, I actually sent some to Miss Cryzone that were sent to me. I feel like seeing what
Sent to you
Apple
by
Sticks
who?
and Caramel Wax have already been dealing with when it came to
Sent
Angie
to you by
Dixon.
who, Blaze?
I'm sorry, what?
Sent to you by who?
iCreep sent them to me.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so like I said, the stuff that I have already seen and the messages and stuff like that, I do feel like Apple Sticks and Carmal West overstepped and was a little letting their generosity get them caught up in the shit when they were friends with Safi. I don't trust nothing that came out of Safi's mouth. I don't. I literally heard these people said Apple Sticks bought them a cell phone. Ain't produced no cell phone. Then they said Apple Sticks and them brung guardianship papers. Ain't seen no papers. Now, I literally heard the whole story from another party that was in Miss Tanya's live literally say that they were on the phone with Safi when they were supposed to be picking these kids up and taking them to Las Vegas. I don't know, whatever that plan was. Like I said, I wasn't even around for none of this shit, but I'm in the middle of it, right? But there was a woman saying that she is the one that told Safi not to give the children to Apple Sticks, and that's why they went over there or whatever. From what I seen and the proof that's put out there, I can't go as far as to call these women groomers and sex traffickers. Now, the situation looks weird as fuck, and I definitely would not be giving my child to Apple Sticks or anybody else that I only known for 6 months or period, because they didn't even know this woman a year, and that shit is weird. But like I said, these women have been generous to people they don't even know on this app as far as to try to
That's
help
the
people
point.
out.
I do have to interrupt here, and as a
Yeah,
co-host, I am going to interrupt and ask a question
sure.
because this is the question that is on my mind. Because I understand what you are saying. I do think that it is weird. I understand why your response is I wouldn't let Safi or anybody or them take my kids because I don't know them like that, right? And I do think it's weird if that's what happened with Safi or whatever. I do think that that is very weird. And kids, I would not just let my kids go off with anybody.
Exactly.
But I also, on the flip side, like what I hear from you is with Apple Sticks and Caramel, though. So, like, with them, it makes it seem like because you cool with them. Now, this is just what
I
I
mean,
observe. No, wait a minute. Let me ask this. But I get what you're saying about them being nice people, but you also don't think that it's weird for an adult who met another adult on this app to even ask to be in close proximity with the children, even if they are a nice person. Like, does that not raise an eyebrow for you when it comes to them? Because I hear you saying they're a nice person. I'm a nice person too. But one thing with being a nice person and being an adult, first of all, I don't know why everybody consider themselves friends. I really feel like everybody is associates at this point. But I just don't understand why then it will be acceptable. Like, I feel like that's behavior that needs to be called out, and that's why
Thank you.
people think that that is grooming. Because if I don't know you, I don't care how nice of a person I am, to want to spend the night with someone's child that you barely know
Thank
is
you.
and could be considered grooming. So I get why I'm not, like, again, I'm going to say this again for anybody screen recording, I'm not going to label anybody a groomer without more context. That's just me. But what I will say is behaviors do resemble things of people that have groomed children. So and if it is about protect the children, I don't
Right.
understand why we don't have more questions for,
Thank you.
even if somebody is a good person, why would you think that that was acceptable? Now, I do believe that Sophie has some type of trauma to where she probably thinks that that is okay, and it is not. But then it begs to differ. We kind of know that if you've been paying attention, we kind of already know that, right? But if you paying attention to Apple Sticks and Caramel, I don't see that. Not saying that they don't have trauma, because I don't know anybody personally. I'm not on anybody's side. lie. But looking at it objectively, right? So if I'm looking at them and you're just saying, well, they're just a nice person. So if that's the only information I have to go off of, it raises a red flag more so their way than it does Sophie way looking at the situation of the things that we know. Don't you think so?
Okay, so number one, I want to go back to where you said, like they're my friends. They are associates. My only two friends I call friends on this app was Miss Cryzone and Palesa and Sobe and another person, right? These are my friends. The people I don't speak to Apple Sticks and Carmal Wax. I do not know what they are doing or been doing. I only can go by what I've seen. I've seen these women give another woman money on this app. This is how I wasn't even around for that. But I seen them give money to people. So generously, I'm thinking they are generously nice people, right? So when this story came out, which I found out about last week when Ms. Cryzone brought this up to me before she even posted any messages,
Mm-hmm.
she came to me and told me something's going on. So me being objective to it, I need to see all the information because I'm not just going to run out and call somebody something I don't know what the fuck is going on. So as
Can
this
I,
stuff,
can I, can I, can I interject? Can I interject? Just 1 second. First of all, I just want to say, they keep trying to spin and they keep saying that, oh, I'm not going to call them. Nobody, I wasn't,
I
but it's
know
just
you
like
wasn't. I
anybody
never
else.
said you did.
That's the thing, no, Blaze. It's just like anybody else. You know what I'm saying? It's not calling them anything, but y'all was trying to make it seem like just because people were asking questions, because the shit was questionable, that was accusing her and this and that and other. You
Only
didn't ask her
Palesa said
one
that. Nobody
question.
else said that. Nobody else said
Well,
that.
you
I didn't
said it
ever say
wasn't enough.
that.
You said it wasn't enough proof. Could you just tell us some of
I'm
the
just
lies that
saying
she
from what.
told?
All right. So like I said,
Because hold on, let me tell these people. I've talked to you for 4 days about this. It's kids involved, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you kept saying, well, I don't know what's going on. I got everything. If I got everything in black and white, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, Blaze, it's right there. Just listen to what she's saying. But sis won't even let me, you know what I'm saying? She defending her and ain't asking her no question.
I
She going
wasn't even
against
in that
everything that
live.
she
I
ever
wasn't
said.
in that live. I never
Blaze,
saw
it
that
was
live.
your live. It was your
Oh,
live.
I thought you was talking about the
See what I'm
time you were
saying?
talking to Palesa.
So I'm telling in your live when she came to defend her. You wasn't in my live when I wrote down every lie that she
No, you're
told. You
talking
was
about my
gone.
live.
No, you wasn't in there. And Palisa was gone at that time, but she came back in
Mm.
after the 21 lives Apple told and started talking about Safi. Like we already know Safi crazy. We already know that she, whatever. But if she tried to give her kids away, then Apple was the one taking them. And y'all ain't even questioning it. You're not questioning it. Apple is
I
the
do
only
question
one.
that. I mean, I
You
said that. I
when did
said
you
it looks
question it?
weird, but I mean, what
You said
question?
it
More
looked
questions do
weird,
you
and
want me
then
to ask?
you told me that it was overstepping boundaries, right? And
That
then when
is.
she right, but when and I just posted, maybe that's why my page going down, where you said that, and then when she came back, on y'all platform that you protect predator, when she came back and said,
Mhm.
I ain't overstepped no boundaries, what you say? Oh no, I'm not saying that. You just go along
I'm
with
saying,
everything they
in
say.
my opinion, she is, but that doesn't mean just because that's my
But you
opinion, that
said she
doesn't mean that's what
wasn't.
she
But
did.
you came
That's
back
just
and
my.
said
It's
she
plenty of people
wasn't.
that don't think she's
It's on my
overstepped
page,
their
but you
boundaries.
came back and said she wasn't. So now you saying she is. Then you saying
No,
she ain't.
in
I
my
would like to hold on
opinion,
real
she
quick, y'all, real
overstepped her.
quick.
Thank
Oh
you.
my
Real
She's
quick,
goodness.
real
lying.
quick. Hold on, real quick. I would like to bring it back in real quick because someone from the comments, Madam Hill, did have a question. She said, "How long were these messages held and why?" In reference to Safi's kids. So I guess she's basically asking, like, how long were these messages back and forth between like the
I
adult and
think
the
she
and
got
the
them. Didn't
kids?
you say you got them like in March, Miss Carson?
Okay,
You had
sure.
helped
Let me
them.
let me talk about that because that's another thing. Okay. I didn't deal with these people right here. Okay. And she came out of nowhere, March 17th, something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and called me after I got into it with Saf. What, a month earlier. Didn't just get into it, but a month earlier. She called me. Now I know they was all beefing over the talent show because there's always some question about money, okay, or something like that. So I'm thinking it's that. But she telling me, like, yeah, woo, woo, woo. I was just kind of checking on you because, Saffy this and Saffy that. And I'm just shocked because I'm thinking they all kumbaya cool, since, same people, but without me. Okay. So it sounded just weird. Like, why is she calling me for real? You know, like I knew she like must wanted me to think I was gonna get mad or whatever's my chance to say something savvy. So she gives me this stuff. What I have, everything that's out is what I have because those Instagram messages and all that should have came out before. If any of these people cared about the kids, should nothing new be coming out. So
Who
that's that.
had the messages?
So these were messages, right? So she called me, right? And she told me, she was telling me this stuff. I talked to another creator and I said, it's just weird how she called me out of nowhere and then she telling me this stuff about Sappy. Should I ask her about it? And she said, yeah, go ahead and ask her. So I inboxed her and I asked her, well, did you want to go into what you was talking about? And the messages y'all see, those are me and her. She's telling me, well, this what happened with the kids and she won't let us see the kids and all of this. And I'm
No
looking at it
problem.
and it's getting
I wonder,
strange.
but
Okay, real
what
quick.
made you
Hold
It's
bring the
on.
getting
messages
strange.
out
Yeah,
there?
Let me
let's give
finish.
My
my
sister's
Miss
trying to talk real
Tanya
quick. Hold on.
a
What's up,
chance
sis?
to speak.
Oh, you want who?
No,
Tanya?
because y'all need to.
Tanya, I agree. Dang,
Okay. Mute up real quick. We'll circle back around. I'm sorry, y'all. Tanya, if you were next to speak, so I know that I think there's some tension between those cry zone and Tanya. So I
Ain't
am
no
going to
tension.
put to
It's all
I,
her.
I am
If
going
she
to
can't
say
have
no
me,
cry
nobody
zone.
can. So she ain't no tension.
Allow Tanya to talk uninterrupted. We can always circle back around, but allow her to talk uninterrupted. Hi, Tanya.
Oh, wait a minute.
Tanya.
I'm not done. No, no. I'm not done. I'm not
Oh,
done with my thought. I'm telling y'all about these messages
Let her
because
talk. Let
everybody
her
want to
talk.
wait,
know
hold
why
on,
they got held so
real
long.
quick.
And
She
I'm
I'm
was
telling
on
she
y'all
mute.
real quick,
I'm
Tanya.
gonna go back
Real quick,
on
sister.
mute.
that
She
it's
was
about these.
Be
explaining.
back on
She
mute and I'm let her
Hold
talk.
on, real quick, y'all. She was explaining. Somebody did ask that question about the messages. So somebody did
She
ask
right.
that.
She right.
I'm sorry. Somebody did ask that question about.
Asked when the message were received. They didn't ask
Right.
that. They wanted to know when did she have the messages, and
Okay,
she
so I
answered
do
that
got a
already.
They
follow up
said how
question.
long they were
I do
held.
got
They
a
was
follow up
asking how
question
long
for
was
no
they
cry
want to know how
zone
long they
though.
were held, why they were held. And I'm just telling
Yeah, he
you
said
the
March.
timeline. And
Okay,
that she
so
didn't give a
what?
fuck about no kids and it was all about whatever. So she gave me the messages and she I'm looking at them, I'm like, why are you giving, because she was giving them to me like she telling me something about Sappy. Like she did this. But when I'm looking at the messages, she's the one that looks weird. It looks weird. So I'm like, so I start asking her like, what exactly are you telling me? And I'm like, wait, what did you say? Blah, blah, blah. But when I start asking questions, she didn't want to talk no more. So
I do have a
when the last
question for you,
message
no
she
cry
left,
zone.
can I please just get this out?
Mm-hmm.
The last message she left, because I showed these people, everybody's about entertainment, but I'm seriously worried about these kids, Staffy's kids for sure, and this one. So she said, well, I was going to air her out, but I'll just wait till she do something else. So now I'm really confused. Like, well, shit, if it wasn't nothing big, like it's weird. Like I'm thinking, then what was the point? Oh, she just wanted to give it to me so I can, you know what I'm saying? So I just put it down until Tanya is obsessed with me. She done tried to get everybody to think I was jealous of her, lied on me, all this shit, which I pre-confirmed in the box, which is on YouTube. The first day it is. She gets blocked, she whatever, ain't doing her show or whatever she doing, nothing. So she comes back around, starting trouble. She gets blocked. She got mad, went on a rampage. Ain't nobody talked to her. Ain't nobody thought about her. Ain't nobody bothering her. She goes on a rampage, get her ass blocked again. Out another creator live. Now she on a rampage because she done told all these people that, she was better than me and I was jealous of her and all of this and she was all of this and she ain't doing shit. And I'm out of my own business chilling and she can't take it. Because if she in a space with me, she know I'm not effing with her, period, ever. And she try to come because look at her interaction with Safi. That's how she wanted it. They like to go back and forth, call each other bitches. I ain't about all that shit. She
You
like that
mad.
stuff.
I'm not
So
mad. You
she's
No, no,
mad.
no. Wait a minute. So I
Shut
do
up,
want.
girl, shut up.
I do.
She's
Hold
mad.
on. I do want Tanya to
I'm gonna
respond.
let
I
her
know she.
talk.
They
I'ma
have
let her
definitely.
talk.
They
But
they
she's the one
definitely.
that came bothering me, and she been bothering me for almost a damn year.
Now
Everybody
let her
saw
talk
it.
because
She got
you and
embarrassed,
Blaze have had like y'all back and
and
forth and talked, right? So now Tanya I Creep have been waiting very, very patiently. So
yeah, we're
we're
gonna
gonna
get
give
to
them
it.
grace to let them speak
No, I'm not. That's what I'm saying. They do
uninterrupted.
this.
So
This is what
let's
they
let them
do. But if
speak
everybody look at the
uninterrupted
facts, you will
because
see. Ain't nobody talking to this
hold on,
chick.
because I
She
think
ain't
it's
got
a
nothing going on.
I
She
get
sit
it,
up here
you
mad
know,
like
and I
she,
think sometimes everybody said
man, fuck
letting
all
no
y'all
cry zone run
predators.
the
All
live.
y'all
We're
some
not.
predators. All
I
y'all
can't
weird.
mute her as a
Tanya, you weird
co-host.
as
That is
fuck.
up to my
I
sister.
creep. You
She is
gonna
the
be in
host.
trouble.
She's not muting her, so there's
And
nothing I
all
can
y'all
really
can
do.
goddamn
So
fuck all y'all
there's nothing I
predators.
can do.
They want
So
y'all to
I
do, they
think
want
that
y'all
it's
to
time
ask.
for Tanya to really talk though. Like give her, let her talk. Like she was quiet the whole. Okay, all right, there we go. So
But I
Tanya.
don't. I'm still trying to learn how to work functions too. Every time I
And
would
she is
mute, she
also
would
still
unmute.
learning how to work
So,
functions, y'all. So be mindful that we not used to TikTok Live. So Tanya, we'll let you talk uninterrupted. No cry zone if you want to hop back in the box, but we do need to let everybody talk, right? So like
yeah,
I
because
said in
I
the
Creep and
beginning,
Tanya have been waiting for a
again, I
while.
say I can't control that from my end. Y'all already know on my live, we muted and we drop instantly, right? So this is a very respectful like space and live, right? Like even though I'm just the co-host, I'm still going to say that it's a respectful live. I understand, and I'll put this disclaimer out there. I do understand No Cry Zone's frustration in the situation, just like I understood when I Creep was upset, and just like I understood when no, we were letting her and Blaze
No,
converse, and y'all did see me stepping in trying to ask. I do want y'all to be mindful that adults are adults. I can't control anybody in this box. Everybody in this box is over the age of 18. They are going to do what they want to do. So I also want us to be mindful that this is also my sister is the host and I am the co-host. She is also
but
with
hold
two
up. Let me
children
add. Let
right
me
now. So
interject.
she's in, hold on.
Safi,
She's,
why are you calling the hosts weirdos? Because they
so
haven't
shop.
let you up yet.
Because
Just
you,
sit there and
because
listen.
all
Can
of
you
y'all
drop
talking
her,
about my
sis?
fucking
She's not going to, she's gonna start that yelling stuff and we're not doing that.
Right, stop. Right,
So
right. Just let her at the box. Let her at the box. 'Cause don't know. I don't need that right now.
we not doing
Let her
that.
at the box.
So, like I said before, like my sister is, she has the kids. So
But
she
hold up.
is,
Let me speak. Let
okay.
me speak for me. Yeah, the only reason we went live on my page is because my sister's functions aren't working, and we just wanted the little backdrop, dramatized, open discussion thing. So I'm typically the co-host. I'm usually the one doing the muting and blocking. So I'm really like hands on, but really hands off. So she could run a live, like she got it. But if anybody starts getting, too out of whack, she is allowed to mute block. Get y'all out of here.
I
Whatever.
can
I'm
only do
cleaning
the
up.
comments. I don't know how to do the people in the box. I don't know if I have that function. I'm not sure how this
You
works.
can, you can drop them out the box, but you can't mute them in the box.
Oh, so I can drop them out the box.
So if you gotta drop them, drop them.
Okay, so this is my first time being a mod, y'all, because normally I'm the one hosting, so bear with
And
me.
I'm the one
And she the one
co
doing the stuff, so we
so
trying. So to the people that think it's not fair, y'all have to give people grace because everybody doesn't know how to use TikTok. I'm one of them. I'm sorry.
we gonna let you speak, I creep.
But I creep is definitely gonna speak, but I need Tanya was up here first before I creep. I apologize that y'all
No,
been waiting
I
so
creep
long.
was first.
I
I
do.
creep was first.
No, Tanya was up here before I creep. Tanya was definitely here before.
I'll let Tanya talk. I'll let her
And
talk
I
first.
do apologize that y'all both
Okay.
have been up here for a minute. You both have been very respectful, and I do appreciate respect. So I do thank you for that. And Tanya, go ahead, baby.
Okay. I don't even know where to start because I'm not here for the garbage. I have been practicing tone, so I'm not here to scream and holler, and I'm most definitely not here to argue with nobody that's irrelevant to me. I haven't been picking with nobody. I don't have to pick with nobody. I did that shit when I was a kid. Now, I come to speak on the Black TikTok talent show. Now, we had the talent show. Now, let me tell y'all where the money came from the talent show. Nobody had to give. Nobody had to give to the talent show. We gave to the talent show because we wanted to. When I came a part of the talent show, those girls already had $400 to give up to the person that won the talent show. I said, well, y'all got 400. Well, shit, I'm going to give 100. Let's make it 5. That's how I become, the first prize became $500 winner. The second prize, since it was a success, we said we're going to do the same thing. Everybody was willing to give up money. We didn't have to give it up. Because there was a time iCreep didn't even have her money to put up. If you don't have it, that's fine. It was replaced. It still got put up. That was something of our word. When you say something about your word, if you're giving out a show, you have a prize, you're going to keep it going. So it was not, you had to give $100. We gave it because we wanted to. The third talent show, we gave out $850. The money that we all continued to put in the pot. I also had friends that started donating. So every dime that was donated, plus our money, was given to the winners of the talent show. There was no scam. There was no money embezzlement. I don't know where they get all this extra shit from, but I felt that I could speak on the talent show because I was the host. I know where that money came from. It came from us and a few people that donated. Lisa donated. And another young man donated $250. That's why the third talent show, we was able to bless somebody with $500. We was able to bless someone else with $150. We was able to bless somebody with $100. And I gave out extra money for the people that didn't win. And I felt that should win. The talent show was heartfelt. Nothing scam, nothing scheming, nothing about money embezzlement, nothing that. It was total entertainment. So to drag the talent show into all this extra garbage just to have a story, just to have something to talk about. Selfie kids with the twins. I'm going to cut that short. I knew about some of the stuff, some of the things I didn't know about. I still would never put grooming or anything else on that. And Sophie is my friend. She cussed me out or however that go. However it go, I would cuss her out. But to know someone is to know someone. But to take advantage of someone that y'all know, and I'm just going to say it, and she might get mad, they be drunk and drink a lot. Sometimes when people drink a lot, their mental is not always there when you're thinking. And they know that. So they push the issue to make things look like they're not. Now, where this girl get her money from, I don't know. I don't care. She has a job. She has a mother. She goes to school. Wherever she get her money from, that's not my business. As far as the TikTok universe that I got, that she gifted me with, it was a contest. No, Cryzone was a part of that contest. It was put your favorite TikTok creator, and how was that? Because I want to say it right. It was she put vote for your favorite TikTok creator to win a TikTok universe. I won that universe off of a contest. It wasn't like she gave me money or put any money in my pocket or anything like that. I won that off of a contest. Now, no Cryzone. I don't have a problem with you. Once me and you fell out, I was done. And you knew that. That's why it took me so long to fall out with you, because I did treasure the friendship we had. I did consider you as a friend. I did have genuine 100% pure love for you from the top of my head to the soles of my feet down to my womb lands. The same thing I'm going to say to Sappy. I'm going to say it to you. I cared about you just that much. What you want from me, why you think I'm keep picking with you, why you keep trying to start beef with me, I have no idea. Never been jealous of you. Never will be jealous of you. We always clashed on different things that me and you never agreed on, because you handle things a certain type of way. I handle things a certain type of way. So we clashed on a lot of different things. So our friendship just went down the drain. I haven't been thinking about you. You try every and any possible way to antagonate me, but you can't. You can't. Now you want to get up in this box and talk to me and not talk at me. You always talking at me around other people or to other people. I'm the one you have the problem with. Why you can't never talk to me? You want to call me names. You want to say this and you want to say that and you want to run. I'm going to say it. You want to run. You'll never want to have a conversation with me like this.
Now, I will say I'm going to ask the question because honestly, like I think that's a good topic for another live because I do think I want to talk about like these friendships that everybody are building. I call them everybody is an associate, but I do think that somebody in the comment had a good point. They said y'all can't be real friends because y'all issues wouldn't be online. And I honestly kind of agree to that particular point, but I don't want to talk about that now. We could talk about
She
that
was
on
my
another.
friend. She was my friend because our friendship traveled off of this line. We met up in person.
I don't think meeting up in person just classifies somebody as being your friend. But see, for me, friendship is a lot more than just that. So even if I meet somebody off this app and I go link up with them a couple times, I don't consider them my friend. I could be talking to you all the time. I feel like I've said this a little bit earlier. I do feel like people either trauma bond or have some type of either mutual dislike for another creator or whatever the case that brings them together. Sometimes, this is not all the time. I'm not speaking in absolute, but I'm saying that, you know, this term friend, because my friends, I would never be online talking about any situation with my friends. And that's on both sides. I don't know who started talking
That's what
about who
you call
first.
life. See, now listen. See,
I don't,
that's what you call life. You live and you learn. I
that's
did
true too.
consider her as a friend. See,
That's true.
I live in real life. You can meet a person one day and continue a friendship with them for 40 and 50 years. I have friends like that. So no, it's not that because you're on the app, you cannot accumulate a friend. No, yes, you can.
I think that you can, but
I'm
I
gonna
think
You have
say
friendship
met up over
happens.
the
What
app.
I'm saying is, I think friendship happens over time, and I don't feel like it was enough time
We knew each
invested
other a couple of years. It
to
wasn't no month.
really. I
We
don't
knew each
know,
other
I'm
a
gonna
couple
say
of
that
years.
I
It
but
wasn't months.
this. Okay, so that's the topic for another live. I do have a question for you because I wanted to get back to.
I agree with what you're saying because I also like I don't do that. I don't when I say somebody's my friend, I don't come on this app and then dog my friend out on this app in no way,
Absolutely
shape, or
not.
form.
That's
And
why I say you
honestly,
live and you
my
learn.
friend can come on here and dog me out if they want to. I'm still not responding because of my integrity, my morals, and what I consider friendships to be to me. So even if my friend came on this app and started dogging me, I still wouldn't respond. But that's about me. Everybody operates differently, and I totally get it and I respect it. But I also don't, to me, when I'm talking about friendships, friends don't come on this app and start talking about each other and airing each other out. So
That's
I don't
exactly why
think.
I ended the friendship. And that's exactly why I ended the friendship.
And I
Friends
understand
don't
that.
do friends like that.
But I
But I'm
also,
gonna tell you what I am gonna do.
but
I'm gonna
I
tell
will
you what
say,
I am gonna do. When somebody dogging me out and coming for me, I'm gonna come right back for. I don't give a damn who it is.
and you know what? I feel like you can't control somebody's response. But what I will say for me, how I behave, like even if that person didn't consider me a friend, if I consider them a friend in any capacity, I'm not doing that. Now, I respect that anybody's response is theirs. So like if that's what your response is, or I don't know who started it or who started talking about who first, I'm not going to speak to that because that's something that I just don't know. And I do not speak to things that I did not see on this app personally. So I don't know who started talking about who first. I did see both individuals talking about people, but the way that I operate and I choose to operate is that if this is my friend can go out and do, and I have responded to people before publicly, and so I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking from life lessons that I learned about friendship, right? So I'm not just speaking from just like trying to accuse anybody. I'm speaking of the errors that I have also went through when it comes to friendships. And for me, going through this is just me based off of my personal life experience, that I just don't consider somebody to be truly friends if you can then turn around and dog your friend. So I don't agree with it on either end of the stick, but I do understand that her age that she started donating money, because I am not sure. But what I will say is, if adults knew that she had some type of financial stability at that age, whether it be she was out here hustling. I've been working since 14, so I get it. She could have her own business. She could have everything at that age, right? So if she's saying there was a $30,000 Come back up, Sobe. There's a $30,000 limit out there too. You know what I'm saying? So that's her business. But I will say that it could potentially look like to somebody else that if a financially stable 17-year-old was in spaces with adults that may not have been, how it could appear to look like a using situation of a minor for financial gain. And the fact that there was some statements that was saying that she gained money from other maybe teenagers too, 18, 17, 18-year-olds as well, or 18, 19-year-olds as well. Not sure the ages, so I won't speak on absolute. So do you see how it could tie into that? Not saying that that's what it is, but I can definitely understand it from that perspective of if you looking at it like, okay, she's been in this, somebody's reporting. Y'all tap the live, somebody's reporting. So do you see how it can look a certain way, Tanya?
No, I don't. Because you want to know what?
Uh-huh.
Some of these younger people out here are business owners. Some of these young people out here do with their money different than what we do because we won't help each other. So y'all get mad at the younger people because these younger people are learning how to share and value life and help other people. They're learning this when they're young. Some of us still don't even know how to do that. Their mindsets and their goals and the way they carry themselves, because I have 3 children, are totally different than what we done in my age growing up. Because at a young age, at her age, I was in my own. I was paying my own bills at her age. Some of these young people minds are coming up equipped way better than I was. And I don't never listen to these young people and listen to what's going on with them. They got to go hang out with the what's wrong with, let me tell you something. I never hung around younger people my age. When I did, I was in trouble. I was fighting. It was just always something wrong. Sometimes some people's mind is not equipped to be around people their age. That's why older men, younger women date older men. It goes on in so many different ways. It's what your mind is.
Now, I'm going to say to that real quick because I don't agree with any younger person dating any older man. And I think that we need to.
But it happens.
Just because it happens doesn't mean it's right. It's definitely 100% grooming. But that's another topic for another live because anybody that's 18, 19 with some 30-something-year-old, that's grooming, period, point blank. I don't care if it happens or how it happens, but we can talk about that on another live. Let's let iCreep talk. And I see in the comments, I don't think it's more so about somebody checking for her pockets, as in like, where did you get all this money? And I think people are misunderstanding because they don't like certain sister, can you let Sobe back up? I think people are misunderstanding because they don't like certain content creators, right? So, and I get it, everybody's gonna be on somebody's side, but I do understand, and I understand what Tanya was saying, but I also understand that I don't think that it's necessarily pocket watching, fuck your feelings. I don't think it's that. I think that it could be concern. And the only reason I say that, and I'm not saying or question anybody's motives, but from the outside looking in, that doesn't look a little odd. I understand that there are people that can have businesses, and I did speak to that, right? But I can also understand how being that age and being free with your money could have an adult take advantage of somebody that is younger, and it could potentially fit into grooming. Now, again, I'll put a disclaimer. I'm not saying anybody here is grooming anybody. I can just see the possibility on the other side. I'm not saying that this is what happened in that situation, but what I am saying is I can understand that. Now, I don't think that anybody should be watching the pockets of anybody else. I don't think that that's what's happening. I think people are saying, hey, that's a lot of, if it's $30,000 being said out there, that's a lot of money for somebody who started.
Okay. So I want to say this, to say, to take it back what Blaze was saying, about how I came across police or whatever like that. I've been 18 for almost a year. I'm turning 19 in a couple months. I've been watching Palesa for a long time. But I came across Palesa when I was 17. When I first came across her, she did not know that I was 17 years old until I mentioned it in Tanya Michelle's live. And everybody had this big blow up over it, whatever. So that's kind of what that came from. As far as the money, I just let people talk and dig themselves into a hole because I have receipts where all my money come from. I just sent some to Tanya Duet, some receipts to show where my money's coming from because I don't ever want anybody to think that I'm out here doing something illegal or I'm taking the money from somebody because, you know, younger people, they do a lot of stuff, so you never know. So I already sent her, you know, that for proof. So Tanya Duet, when you see that $8,000, when you see that, that's around the time where I was dropping over those gifts. So I just want you to look at that. So moving on. As far as No Cry Zone, right? No Cry Zone didn't bring this up until after I sent Tanya Duet a TikTok universe. It wasn't a galaxy. It was the highest gift on TikTok at that time. What was it, like $600? So this is all over $600. It's already been confirmed that that's why No Cry Zone is really mad because I was blocked after that. So that's what it really is. No Cry Zone has a motive. That's what it is. Because she will literally block people out her live if they didn't gift her and only give Tanya Duet. That's why she ran when Tanya got up here. It's already been proven. That's what she used to do. So for her to try to act like that she never took any gifts from me, No Cry Zone, she took a lot of gifts from me. And she can't afford to give it back because she's going to be owing me a couple thousand or $100. So my whole thing is I'm not asking for any money back. I did that out the kindness of my heart. As far as this $30,000, now to ask No Cry Zone a question, I don't know if she's still in here. Now, did I tell you that I dropped $30,000 on one TikTok creator? Or did I tell you that I got $30,000 at one time and I gave it away? Which one did I say? And did I say that was while I was on TikTok or did I say before TikTok? Y'all twist and turn stuff. I have receipts.
Doesn't seem like that to, if everybody can mute up, it might be some echoes, y'all. For me, it doesn't seem like that to me on an outside perspective looking in. It just doesn't seem like that to me. I'm gonna be honest, like I do have some legit like concerns and questions because I do think that there are some adults don't know who it is on this app that potentially probably did take advantage of you. I don't know who those names are. I can't speak for that, but I do feel like that just by looking at from the outside. I'm not saying that it's true. I'm just telling you what I feel like. And I'm not saying that, you know, who it is. Is it this person? Is it that person? T-Talk, when you say it's not our business, T-Talk, none of these people know who I am. Why do I know, not everything, but why do I know enough to have these conversations? I know enough to have these conversations because people sit on live and talk about this, right? And they talk about each other. So when you say it's nobody's business, there is a level of when you put your information out in the public, people are going to talk about it. I'm going to make a disclaimer again for anybody new coming in. I don't have a side, neither does my sister. We're just nosy and probably semi-messy too, right? So we're just nosy people asking questions that normal people who, if you were in any live, you probably would get muted. That's why you see me ask in the comments, do they have any questions? Because some people may have some questions for people on the panel. I don't disrespect anybody up here, and we don't really allow too much disrespect. We don't mute and block a lot, but we will. Creep, go ahead.
Can I ask you a question, Ms. Watchmaker?
I'm just gonna drop down because I'm not being able to talk and stuff, and it's kind of getting tired of me. No, Blaze. It's just tired of me. Y'all, I feel like they're doing all this over some drugs. I don't know why people feel like that.
Tanya, let her talk. Tanya, mute and just let her talk.
I'm about to go. I already have my receipts. If y'all think I'm laundering money, whoever thinks that, whatever, believe me, I don't care. But my whole thing is, this is all over some gifts, and I just think it's quite weird how grown folks are doing all this because some gifts. I think it's the obsession with creep is what's really getting me. If y'all want to talk about some grooming stuff, I think that's what's weird, how grown folks posting panels about checking that 18-year-old pocket. I think that's weird. I think that
I
Now
honestly agree with
that's
her.
what I think that's really grooming, and that's what's really weird. Now that's what I think. But my whole
Clarify whose panel you were speaking on.
I'm talking about anybody that it applies to, but I'm about to drop down because I don't have to really explain. Like y'all are doing this all over some gifts and $100 cash app to Palesa. That's it. I just think that's weird that the obsession with eye creep is so crazy now. That's what I think is weird. People are hosting panels about where eye creep is getting her money, but do you want to learn from me? I'm trying to see where we're going with this. That's what I'm trying to see. But so the only one that I really heard that spoke fast and really had some sense, because college kids are not broke like y'all think we are. But I'm gonna go ahead and go.
Miss Watch Me Work, can I ask a question?
Yes.
I just
What's
want
up,
to say
Blaze?
I want to say this before I got interrupted with Acre, and that's what she was saying. Okay, you say you see people panel up talking about her and where her money come from, where she get it from, but when she get up here and she explain it to y'all where she get her money from, well, I heard her and her mother have done things today, and like she's do stuff together. She do all kind of things. And when she say collectively over time that her money adds up to $30,000, when she say these things to y'all out of her mouth, why do she still get questioned? Why do it still seem like she have to feel that someone is grooming her? Why do the questions still have to come? Where do you feel this way when she just sat there and told y'all where she get her money from? Why is there any more questions on how y'all feel?
Because again, I'll put a disclaimer for our live. This is a place where we can ask those questions, right? So, like,
But you
this is the
asked her a
point.
question.
This is the
Asked
point.
her a question, and then she gave you an answer, and then you came right back around and doubted what she told you because of
No,
what
I'm going to
you.
continue to. Okay, so maybe let me be a little bit clearer. I'm going to ask questions as the conversation goes. As I hear something, I'm going to ask follow-up questions. I'm going to go to the comments and also ask questions. So I'm just going to explain one more time. It's not if somebody's answers are good enough or whatever the case may be. There may be some questions. I haven't asked the same question. I've asked different questions. So I'm going to continue to ask questions, and we're asking questions because people want to know some answers, and they don't necessarily get to ask questions on everybody's space. So anybody is welcome to come up and discuss what they want to and ask those questions, or if you don't want to answer the questions, that's okay too. But everybody, whether whoever has been in the box before, when we went live, we ask questions back and forth, and we're very respectful with those questions. So I see people saying it's giving obsession. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. I don't go back and forth. And, we told you what the purpose is. The purpose is we are nosy. We got questions. We sit in these lives. And anybody that is in the comments who gets muted and blocked from lives can come over here and safely ask a question, and we'll ask a question for you. So, Blaze, you had a question for me.
Yes. Okay. You said, now, I want to say this first, right? Out of all the questions that were asked of iCreep and everything, and everybody's considered that she could be getting taken advantage of. Out of all the money that she's given away, I have not heard once anybody ask iCreep or say they asked iCreep for money. She did this out of the kindness of her heart, far as I can see. If something comes up otherwise, I don't know how anybody can take advantage of a child that nobody's asking anything from, especially when it came to these gifts or whatever was sent. Because nobody asked Ice Creep to send these gifts to specific creators. I did hear something about a contest that somebody won and she contributed to it. When she gave her answer where the money came from, if we don't got no proof any otherwise, there shouldn't be no other questions after that. But y'all continue to ask her questions that don't make kind of sense to me, because it's just like when we asked her the question in my live, her answer has not changed. That's what I was saying before. Ever since she was asked that question, her answer has not changed. And I don't have any other proof otherwise to ask her any more questions about where her money comes from, because I feel like that's badgering and being accusatory of her.
I mean, that's why I stated what I stated before I let iCreep talk. I said, I'm back in college. For those of y'all who don't know, and you'd be amazed at how much money I get every semester that's not after tuition's paid and books are bought. And I'm still sitting on I'm not giving y'all my finance, but I mean, and this is not from the VA. This is not from, from all that stuff. It's from the school, the grants and all that stuff. It's money in going to school. And some of y'all don't know that, but y'all should find that out.
I will want to say this, and this is the point that I want to make here, right? People have questions. So I do want to refer to like kind of what the topic is. Why is it? Because again, everybody, I've said it multiple times, right? Like, I'm not on anybody's side. I got questions for Tanya Michelle too. She come up here, right? So, because I do think there's a lot of grooming this way and grooming that way. I seen somebody in the comments say something about like, we're trying to push the narrative of grooming. Sobe and Blaze, how many times have I said that I am not going to call anybody a groomer because I don't have full context?
You've said that from the beginning. So I don't understand. I don't think that's what you're doing per se. I think you're having the conversation and holding the space for it. I do believe that narrative was getting pushed up here earlier, but it wasn't from you.
All right. So the thing about it is, you did state that, but you saying also that you're seeing grooming here or grooming there, but you're not being specific on who you think a groomer is or why it even keeps coming up. That's where I'm confused at.
That's not what I said. Let me say what I said. What I said was, I do understand how certain things can look like behaviors of a groomer, so I can understand how all other people can call them groomers, because there are some behaviors that are exhibited in groomers. And then I followed up and said, I can't call them groomers because I don't have enough context to call them groomers myself. The point of when I go live is to also give different perspective, because I feel like that's what lacks in a lot of conversation. So that's what I said. I'm not saying, I do feel like somebody took advantage of I creep. I'm not sure who that person is, but I do believe that to be true just by some of the things that I may have saw. Not saying like an individual person, no, but that's what I said. I did say that there are behaviors that are exhibited in this situation, not necessarily just with iCreep, but the main concern is the situation with Sophie, really. So it really in that situation. So that is a lot different than me labeling anybody a groomer. Does that clear up?
Hold on. So, yes, hold on. Here it comes.
So I'm gonna say this right with the Sophie thing, because like I said, if you've noticed, I have been watching. I'm not speaking on it, and absolutely, I don't agree with apple sticks and caramel wax, whatever the hell that was. But first and foremost, the first line of defense is the mother of those children. And for you, now that I hear from Tanya that I guess you were drinking or you're I'm not even gonna speak on that because I don't know about it. But for you to allow your children to be with women that you met on this app when you don't even know their names or their last names, or you don't know nothing about them, I'm blaming you. This is your fault for putting your children in danger. And you want to get on here and scream, and then everybody who had the messages and all that stuff, and you're just now bringing it out, you're complicit. You are complicit, because if you cared about her kids, blank, and Sophie has no business letting strangers off this app be around her kids. None.
All right, I'm sorry. I don't mean I gotta. I'm just asking this question for clarification. Now, you say, I mean, Miss, watch me work. Now, you say that you did witness some actions by people that could be considered grooming. Could you be specific on what actions that you see? I just want to be for clarification.
I have seen her, like, when No Cries Down said, to the point of her being disrespectful in lives and allowing, like, certain things to happen. I do feel like sometimes, I'm not saying like this is any particular person, but I do feel like allowing somebody in your spaces at that young age to have so much, just, I don't know, it just looks very weird to me. Like, I'm not saying anybody is a groomer for that, but I would just say, like, her being in spaces, the way she communicate, just the way people interacted with her at her being that age didn't sit right for me. And so I could see how possibly in those situations she could possibly be taken advantage of by an adult on this app. Yes. So no, I'm not saying or calling anybody a groomer to Ram Ram. I don't know. I didn't say that she was a groomer or anybody was grooming Ram Ram. So I don't know how I'm reaching when I'm not calling anybody a groomer. So I'm not sure. But I just will say that there are things that as adults should question us. I don't think Sophie should allow people to be around her kids that she don't know. But on the flip side, as an adult, so Blaze, I have this question for you, and Sophie, I also have a question for you. So as an adult, let you and Blaze know each other. Let's say y'all saw each other off the app. Sophie, are you going to go ask Blaze, can I take your kids overnight? And vice versa question for you, Sophie.
So I'm gonna speak. I answered that
I'm sorry.
already.
Could
I
you
said
repeat the
no.
question? I was talking. I didn't hear the
So
question.
would you go up to Sobe Blaze and be like, yo, yeah, I know you, we cool. Yeah, I'm gonna take your kids with me overnight. Like, would you take Sobe kids overnight?
Please give me 1 second. I'm picking up my son. Just
Oh yeah. Oh, go ahead, handle business.
I'll answer. I'm gonna tell you this. One, I would never go to another adult on this app and ask to take their kids nowhere. It's inappropriate. It's not okay. You don't know them. So why are you doing that? That's weird to me and suspect, period. Point
Okay,
blank.
so we got that it's weird and suspect. So this is the point I'm trying to make when I say behaviors are like people to call anybody a groomer, because yes, the children's first line of defense are their parents, their mother, and their father, right? So we know Sophie is doing something wrong by allowing somebody to come get her kids. But when we flip it to apple sticks and caramel wax, and if we say out of our mouth that it is weird, why is it weird then? Because let's talk about why we think that is weird. Do we think it's weird because it could lead to a grooming situation? That's what I think about when I think that it's weird. So let's break down what's weird about it then.
Well, I mean, but the thing is, I'm not gonna call them groomers, but it's weird to me that you wanna take people's kids who you just met to go. Why you want my kid? Why would you want my kids? What's the problem? I don't understand. You don't know me like that. And for me, the point is that the reason for me why it falls back on the parent is because you have to have some sensibility. Like, are you kidding me? You just met these people. Even if they ask that question, guess what? Friendship, contact, done. We ain't never talking again. You forget where I live. Don't come here. If you come here, I'm calling the cops. Period. Because when somebody does ask you that, first of all, and you allowed them one time, you are the problem because you're not thinking logically. Why would you ever let your kids go with somebody? It doesn't make sense to me. The apple sticks and them are wrong. They should have never watched the kids for play dates, whatever, nothing. But I just can't fathom in real life where a mother is gonna let their children go with somebody that she met on the internet. My parents wouldn't even let me spend the night at people that she knew's house. Are you kidding me?
Well, I mine either. So I couldn't either. So I think it's all weird. But I will say, if we're going to say that it is weird, why is it then weird, right? So the reasons that some of us think it's weird, for the people in the comments that are like, you're calling them groomers, I'm not calling them groomers. But if you have the thought process that you think that it is a little strange and a little weird for them to even ask that, then to me, you have the thought process that you think it's weird, because that is the first step in grooming.
But you
That
know,
is,
it's the potential of what could happen, and
it's,
as a parent, you should be thinking about that, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I said what they did was wrong, and period, point blank. I'm not excusing it, but my thing is, I can't be focused on what strangers are doing. They're not the parents.
I agree.
That's
I
my
agree
point.
I agree with that too. But I'm just speaking to the mindset. I understand they are good people, but as a good person, I wouldn't feel comfortable as an adult then act. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all know that the mother, you get what I'm, let me put my face back. We all know. All right. So we all in agreement that the mother should never be putting her kids in that situation. But us as adults, why would we even? You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm an adult.
Absolutely, I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. I get it's the possibility of that. Why? I mean, it's oh
But the
my god.
reasons we wouldn't do it though is because the kid can get SA, the kid can get, abused, like, physically abused. The kid could be emotionally abused, and the kid could be groomed, right? So if we operate with that mindset, then why don't we look at that behavior? I'm not calling them groomers, but the behavior is a little strange, and it's strange because it could lead to that. So I think that, yes, I think the focus should be softy, but I also think we should focus on why adults feel comfortable just being around and trying to spend the night with somebody else's kids. So when we talk about Safi doing that, I wholeheartedly agree. But two things can be true at one time. Both things
True.
are wrong. So but what I hear from Blaze, and I heard it from you, is when we're looking at Carmal and Apple Sticks, yeah, you say it's weird, but you give them grace in saying, hey, they are just nice people.
I'm
So if
not. No,
we go,
I didn't say once
no,
they were
not you.
nice.
Blaze said that. No, so you didn't. Blaze, you did say that kind of early on, right? So I'm not going to label somebody a groomer unless there's more context. But I will say that situation is very weird and could be a grooming situation if they are legit groomers. I'm not sure. I don't have enough context to label them that, but it is a raise of an eyebrow to say, why are you comfortable as the adult taking these damn kids? So Blaze, can you kind of talk? Oh, sorry, Blaze is with his
Give me about 5 minutes.
yeah,
I'm
that's
almost
cool. If
out.
anybody else wants to come up, or in
But
the,
I am listening.
So yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I'm not speaking. I don't know the twins very well. They've been in space I've been. They say hi, I say hi back, and that's about it. I knew they was a part of the talent show, but I don't know. Like I said, the chats and all that stuff. Look, you ain't gonna catch Sobe, none of that. There's only two people that I talked to. Pull my finger, Blaze, Palesa, and Granny, Coy Bundy. That's it. All them other stuff on here, and you ain't gonna catch me in that ever. Because what I'm gonna say to you, I can say it to your face. I ain't got to say it behind your back. So, I mean, that's just that. But the thing is for me, I'm gonna tell you, my mom, the way my mother raised me, like, that's why I'm focused on the mother. Because something's wrong with you. Because stranger danger, we learned that at a very young age. And you ain't gonna just meet somebody off an app and say, oh, sister, what are you talking about? Everybody your damn sister on this app or your brother. Then man, she need help. Put the bottle down, like you need to put that bottle down, lady.
I do think there is a bigger issue here, because I do think that there is an issue with Apple Sticks and Carmal, and oh, you ready, Blaze?
Yes, can
Sorry.
you repeat the question so I can make sure I'm on?
Oh shoot! I done forgot the dang old question.
The
I'm
question
like,
was, Blaze, me and you are friends, and we've met up and we hang out. Would you then just let me have your kids, or vice versa?
or take his kids. Would you be so amped to be like, Sobe, your kids can come spend the night on over here?
Absolutely not. See, the reason is that kind of parent I am doesn't mean that's what the next parent is going to do. Some parents see that as acceptable. Like when it came to this whole apple sticks and caramel, be
Up, Blaze.
I mean,
Topic teaser, you wanted to say something? You wanted to come
experience.
up? What you got?
Yeah, I wanted to come up and say just one thing. Is it possible that the twins, Safi made the twins feel comfortable enough to ask those questions? Now, that's something that we're not getting into as far as how comfortable did Safi make them feel to ask those questions. Hey, you want to go on a vacation with me, or whatever the situation may be, because some people are calling them the G word. I am not going to say it, but does that really make them the G word just because Safi made them comfortable enough to even let them stay the night at somebody else's house? You get what I'm saying?
I said when she
Right.
on here calling everybody sister, everybody her sister.
Mhm.
That's why I said the problem is Safi. And I'm not
Exactly.
saying what the other people did was right, because they should have had enough follicles and brain cells to know that this is not okay. I just met this woman. I can't take her kids. That's crazy.
Oh, and I
I
understand that part.
agree. Topic
Go
teaser.
ahead.
I think you just brought in a very good perspective, right?
Right.
Because, and I'm all about perspective. And that's why people, whoever was talking shit, y'all don't understand that this is about perspective, right? I feel
Mhm.
like people bring different things to a conversation. So I do think, like, to me, it's weird. And to me, my mindset is it goes to something else. And maybe that's just because I am protect the children at all costs for real. You know what I'm saying? But I do think that you raise a good point. I think both topics are good and should be held because I see fault in both, right? But if let's focus in right now, let's focus in on Southie a little bit because I do have questions there. I think you brought in a good thing that did she, even if somebody made me comfortable enough, I'm still not doing it. But I think you bring up a good point because then I want to know from Safi if you did make them feel comfortable enough, why? Like, why would you? Why? You get it, topic teaser? I'm gonna get it to topic.
Exactly. Exactly.
Exactly,
Because
exactly.
the thing is how we know how long this had been going on before they even asked could they go on a trip to Vegas. Now we're seeing it only little bits and pieces and what No Cry Zone put out, whatever she put out, and we haven't actually just really sat down and talked to the source itself. Safi not going to get up here and talk because she think we're talking about her kids. We're not talking about her kids at all. It's just,
Parenting.
just making people out to be the G words. I think that's unacceptable. That's not, everybody is not. You get what I'm saying? Everybody is not that, and making it seem as if that's what they are. That's kind of wrong. We don't know what kind of actual conversation behind closed doors them girls and Safi had. You get what I'm
And
saying?
at what point did she cut off? Say when Safi said no more communications with
Mhm.
my kids.
Mhm.
Now, if she did that and they were still trying to contact her children, that's a problem.
And
Exactly.
another thing is, like, she created a page. I saw her new page. It's called Apple Sticks the Groomer. But
Yes.
here's my thing, Safi. You can call them a groomer all you want to, but here's the bottom line. As an objective person watching, you're the problem because you invited this problem to your children. You put your kids at risk. It's
Mhm.
you who did
Mhm.
that. And no child should be subjected to anything like that because their parents lack proper parenting skills.
That's right. That's
Can
right.
I ask a question? And my I have a question. My first question is why, if the messages have been circulating since March, are they just now a thing?
Boom.
And
The one that can
then
answer that is Miss Cryzone.
No,
oh,
Cryzone tried to be manipulative and thought that she was getting a point across, and it didn't go the correct way that she wanted to go, and now we're here. That's why.
right. But
Just
that's something that you have to look at when you're looking at these quote unquote, because I don't I'm on the outside looking in quote unquote allegations. You have to look at the reason why we're even talking about this. You have to look at all the people that are involved in this and why we're even in this space. It sounds like to me that you have folks using, and it's something that's done here a lot on this app, where they take something offline, bring it online, and then use it as a way to hurt someone. They use it as a weapon, right?
I said that's what the
Uh,
story was being used to cause division and everything else. Not for no, it has nothing to do with children or at all. Because I feel like this story was brought to this app and weaponized. And I'm not even gonna say Miss Cryzone did it. I seen other creators do it though.
well, at
But
this
I do
point,
got questions though.
Now look at
at
the
this
video.
point, even though the talk is saying that it's about the kids, it's not about the kids. It's about the adults involved.
I just want to
That.
say something real quick.
Mhm.
I just blocked somebody out of here because they keep saying the same thing over and over. So, like, yeah, we see your comments. And if you disagree with how anything was ran here, guess what? If you got 1,000 followers, you can do your own live.
Box.
But you can do your own live. But I will say this: no, Cryzone didn't run a live or anything like that. We clearly said while she was talking, y'all saw me trying to get her to be quiet. Y'all also saw me saying that I didn't know if I could mute or drop anybody because we didn't know how to work these functions. So just because y'all don't like somebody, we've allowed everybody to talk. Have we not?
Yeah.
So everybody
yes,
has been
yes.
allowed to speak. So when y'all say somebody is running a platform or somebody is doing this, everybody is getting an opportunity to speak. If you feel like you can't speak in this space, that's a you issue. That is not a host issue. And if you feel like that we're not doing a good job, I respect your opinion, but you can go host your live. All right. Loving me if you want to finish up.
But no, I'm just saying that at this point, I understand that everyone is saying that it's about the kids. But again, on the outside looking in, it doesn't appear that way. It appears as if it's about the adults. And even with Miss Safi, I'm a mother. I'm a mother. Also, I'm also a very giving person, and I'm soft hearted when it comes to kids. Right. So if I see kids that are in need, um, and I have a relationship with the parent, um, yeah, I don't see anything wrong if buying the child something. If I don't see anything wrong with that. Do I think that they overstep their bounds? Absolutely. Absolutely. Were they doing too much? I would say yes. But at the same time, though, you're not getting the whole story. And from what I understand, it was an interaction between both parties. It wasn't like they were just, bombarding her. Let me get your kids. Let me get your kids. It's not like she wasn't interacting with them as well. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? So maybe that's why they thought it was okay to be like, hey, we're going to Vegas. You know what I mean? You want to take the kids, especially if there are other kids involved. I think that sometimes that we tend to take things and we kind of blow it out of proportion, and it's based off the people that's in the story and not the story itself. And I think the bits and pieces of this just was taken, stretched, and it was used to weaponize. And that's the sad part in it, because if it is about the kids, it's so far from the kids now. You got to double back to the kids because of all the grown people involved.
Well, for me, it's about the kids because one, that's why my focus is on the mother because she is the of all of this.
Right.
Right,
And
Had
but
can I
Kobe,
it,
my question is, when did you know about the messages?
oh, I just found out about it, but I was focused on Patrick, so I didn't watch any of this stuff. I didn't listen to any of this
Right.
stuff,
But
and I
that's
was just
my
like, so
point. That's my point. It's for you, it's about the kids now because you are just aware of the messages. Those messages have been circulating since March.
it's
That
just
that is
circulating
Oh no,
where
no,
that
it
is
wasn't
but
on the
off
app.
the
Were
It
app.
sent
They
wasn't
to
were
on
no
the
they
app.
were
prize
off the
but
app.
see
zone.
It
that's the
wasn't on
Those
the
even
app.
messages, those
Okay, hold
messages
on,
were
hold
sent.
on.
I don't even know how I got up here, but
Let's let
wait,
Love and Me finish
but
up.
I'm saying
And then
those
Tanya came in next, I believe, and then I Creep, and then Palesa came in, I believe.
then I could.
okay, so those messages, okay, so she said that's false. But you all are saying that those messages were things since March. She had them since March, right?
No, Cryzone had them since March, but nobody else knew about them. Nobody. She released them just the other day. That's what I'm saying. So nobody was privy to anything that was happening. Nobody knew until No Cryzone did her live or expose. No one knew. I don't talk to Safi. I don't really talk to
So
Applesmith
that's a
or Camel
different
Wax
light
like that.
then.
I don't know
That's
anything
a
about. That's what
different
I'm
light.
saying. I'm new to this. I'm like, what's going on? So I've just been catching on bits and pieces of it. That's it. And my point is, it's the problem for me is Safi because she put her kids at risk. Period. Point blank.
So nobody was aware of these messages up until No Cry Zone posted them last week or whenever she posted them.
I will say that I didn't see it, but I also go back to my point of two things can be true at the same time, right? I do
True.
think that things need to be focused on the mother, but as adults, y'all not focused in on the other side though.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm looking at all.
I'm
I'm
looking at
looking
all
at
of it,
all
but
of.
my thing is,
Yeah.
the kids are still with that mother.
Okay,
She's
okay,
liable to, and she's liable to do it again with somebody
okay,
else.
okay. Let me speak on this on the kids because I was there. Now, they didn't just go to Sophie and say, let my kids spend a night. Let your kids spend a night. Sophie didn't go to them and say, let their kids spend a night. We was talking over the apps for a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months. They found out they was in the same city. When they found out they was in the same city, the twin went and visited Sophie with her kids. They had kids the same age. The kids started playing with each other. They were spending time with each other before they started spending the night at each other's house. It wasn't even the adults that thought of it. It was the kids. I was there on the Zoom meeting watching all the kids play. They had a friendship. It's not that they just end up keeping each other kids. I really have to paint this picture out there. They had a relationship with each other. And their kids started playing with each other. They was hours at Southie house. When it was time to go, some of them kids started crying because they didn't want to go. They wanted.
Host, where's your sister?
That's all I see, Felicia. It's just
they said in
Tanya.
the comment section it's black.
I can still see everybody and everything. Yes, Tanya,
Yeah,
but
I can hear you.
Hear and see everything. So.
I,
But yeah,
Okay,
Tanya,
yeah.
definitely that brings a different perspective though, because it doesn't. Thank you, baby. It doesn't seem like that's what it is. You know what I mean? When you hear people talking about it in the way it's being cut up, is it almost seems as if they didn't have a friendship. You know what I mean? Like they were just trying to take over her kids or something.
perspective is
Oh,
what I
they
got
had.
from Safi. That's what I got from seeing her talk about it. That's the perspective she's pushing. What now Tanya's saying, that's a whole different perspective.
No,
Right. So
y'all.
that changes things.
Listen to me. They had a friendship. They started picking each other kids up from school. Them kids got so intel. They would ride and pick each other kids up from school and stuff. Those kids had built a bond. And then that's how
Safi
they
just
bond got
said
even
in
stronger.
Tanya's live that her kids miss the twins' kid, the
Oh,
Carmel's kids. They miss their friends.
Oh,
and it made
Then
me
why
kind
is
of happy because the kids had somebody to play with. You know what I'm saying? Those kids, Southie kids that I know for a fact, all they have is her. Oh, who want to sit around their mom? Those kids are a little bigger. All they have is her. What was wrong with them meeting someone? So now that they done met somebody, met them some little friends, they have to go through this from trying to be kids. I don't get it.
So explain to me then why Safi pushing the narrative that her kids were being groomed.
You wanna know what she told me? And on some real shit, other people put that in her head. And
Yep.
she named
Yeah,
several
and I knew
Yep.
it was going to be said.
I
Oh
agree. I
wow.
agree.
That's
I
what.
Did,
agree.
See what
y'all
I'm
know I ain't gonna
saying?
lie
Hold
about
on, can I
her.
speak real
I'm
quick?
not gonna lie to her about it. I talked to her about it. Now, I know some of the things you said is not you. Because, man, you talk all the time. Those are not your words. Where did you get that from? Where? And she told
Wow.
me. Some people put that in her head. Several people.
See, that's what I'm saying.
All because the
Uh.
kids want
Can y'all hear
play.
me?
Just
Yeah, we
because
can
the
hear
kids
you,
want
Cree.
There you
I
go,
just wanted to
love.
say something real quick.
Go ahead.
First of all, I don't like to do a lot of stuff on the app. I tried to handle this behind the scenes when I found out about it, but stuff just kind of blew out of proportion. You can't control, what people do or say. So, it happened the way it happened. But what I'm saying is, like, one thing I did find out is the twins actually invited Safi to Vegas with them. Safi was the one that chose not to go, and this has been confirmed. So it wasn't just,
Wow.
oh, I'm gonna take the kids to Vegas. She invited Safi with them, and Safi said that she didn't want to go, that she was just gonna let the kids go.
If I'm not
and there you
mistaken,
have.
Okay, guys, real
one of them
quick.
said
Can
that
you
in the
all hear
live the
me?
other day.
Yeah,
That in the
Apple said
beginning
that.
they invited everybody, not just the kids. And Safi
Yep.
said that she needed a break from the kids.
My
You
apologies.
sure right,
Somebody need to
Palesa.
And it's
apologize
been
to Apple Stick
I
them.
said
it's
That's
these
been
lives been
wrong.
going on and
wait a
people
minute,
don't be
wait a minute.
listening. People
And it's
don't be
been
listening to
confirmed.
what's being
I
said.
sat back and
Can anybody
I
hear me?
sat back.
Yeah, we can hear
Hold on, I
you.
want to
Y'all are
finish. I want
ignoring,
to finish because
y'all are
I'm
ignoring the fact that she still made a page that says Apple Sticks is a groomer. So if
I'm not
that's all
ignoring it.
true,
I'm not ignoring it. That's why Tanya Duet told her today she need to change that, because a lot of this stuff that's going on, we already done told Safi this about what is going on. We already done told her you wrong about this, because a lot of this stuff that she's saying, she said that Glamour and No Cry Zone is what's been putting it in her. I don't know if that's true, but that's what that's
other
what she's
people
saying.
put
But what I can say is that I know for a fact is that when they were going to go to Vegas, they invited Safi with them, and Safi was the one that said that she did not want to go.
Hey guys, I'm gonna
They
restart the
invited.
live
I
real
was
quick
invited.
because nobody can
Okay.
So
say
All right,
anything.
She was
Okay,
all right.
invited.
Loni.
All right, I'm about to drop down.
Okay.
Yep.
Girl, that's
All
when you was
right.
finna drop it.
Thank you,
Everybody pop
Lonely.
back in.
yep. There you go, right there.
There you go. We
Yeah, the
good?
live
Yep.
came just when you finna
Yeah.
drop it. I see
Yep.
All
everybody.
right. Okay. Thank y'all.
I see everybody. And y'all know this kind of like bothers me to see all this going on, with so many people that once cared about each other. I don't know, for people to get stories. That's why I really didn't want to involve myself in all what I didn't know about, because I didn't know about the man calling. I didn't know about the beating on the door. I didn't know about none of that. And I also asked Alfie about that too. Is that really what it was? But when she said, sister, listen, such and such and said it was that this, and they made me believe that what it was. That girl has a drinking problem. She drinks obsessively, and I'm not saying that that's excuse, but she is sick with drinking. She is. She's ill. Sometimes she say shit she don't even remember what she said, and to take this and just screw it all up, and I don't know what No Cry Zone was trying to prove or what she was trying to get at to to make it go this far. This this
Mm-mm.
this is just it's far.
They need to be apologized to. That is wrong. And then don't one
I
of them
agree.
have kids as well? So
Exactly.
now you're
Can I
jeopardizing their
kid,
children with this.
kid,
With this. That's crazy as hell.
kid,
Can I say
Wow.
something real quick?
60.
Can I say something real
Yes,
quick?
Palesa.
I want y'all
Sorry,
to think
guys.
back. Let's think back. I don't. I'm not just gonna put this on No Cry Zone and Glamour
Mm-mm.
because those messages that Safi claimed came from her daughter to the twins. When I sat there and I watched that whole live, I recorded it. I've yet to play it, but if anybody saw that live, and then the live that she did later on with when she got in No Cry Zone's box. She was lying about those messages, straight up lying about those messages. So for me, I feel like Safi already had this plan, this motive in her head when she sent that message to Apple Six that morning, leave my children alone. Because I believe those IG messages that came in at 6 o'clock that morning were from Safi, not her kids. She couldn't even tell the truth about where those messages came from. When she found out about them, she lied over and over and over again about those IG messages. I believe Safi had a plan back then to make it seem like those girls were grooming her kids. No, Cry Zone was just a catalyst for her to push that fucking narrative. But it was already planned. Because you can't, Jesus, I have to come down here and tell me that the messages did not come from Safi. Because if they really came from your daughter, why the lies? If all of this is true, why are there any lies, period? Why are you telling any lies? Them your kids. Yours. And like Sobi has said before, you're the first line of defense for your kids. If you felt like something like this was going on, you should have been screaming from the mountaintop in December.
I need somebody to
I
drop
don't
for
give a
me.
fuck
We
what
got
y'all say. Them
Carmel trying to
messages
come
came from
up.
Safi.
You hear me? We got Carmel trying to come up. I want her and Apple Sticks up here together.
I can drop if I need to.
No, you good. Let me see. I think she took her request back. No, there she go.
Thank you, Sobi.
Yeah, thank you, Boo. We'll add you right back up when they finish. Trying to
You
get my
have 9 boxes, don't you?
yeah, but I'm trying to figure out too, guys, how to split them up how we had them before. Let me see.
Go to
I don't know.
your box wherever how you add people into the live, and it should say grid and something else.
Let me see.
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. There we go. Thank you, Blaze.
Can you guys hear me?
That's better.
Yes, I can hear
That's
you.
better than
Yes,
me.
and you can add 2 more people up now.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Who wants to come? Okay, I see. I'm trying to get my sister back. She
I
calling me on the phone. All right, there we go.
I just want to say, as a person with no kids, I will have no dealings with any other any anybody else's kids. So the only person that will be
Yeah.
dealing with her kids will be my sister. So I don't know where she got the story from me having her kids when I have no kids. I work 2 jobs. I have no time for kids. So I don't see how I could see how I got caught up in this, trying to talk with No Cry Zone and explain my story to her, but she turned around and used it against me. I don't care if I haven't talked to you in 2 months. If something happened to you and I call you out of the blue just to check up on you, I don't think that should be anything manipulative or anything like that. I didn't call you to get back at Safi. No, this was me checking up on you, and then it just ended up me telling you what the fuck happened with Safi. And then you want to weaponize what I gave you against me because you hurt. But I didn't hurt you. Somebody else hurt you.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm back, guys. I don't know what happened to the live store. Like, I missed a lot of what was going on. I see that we now have Caramel Wax and Apple Sticks. So I'm gonna let Apple Sticks continue to talk. And then I don't know who came up after that. So if y'all could let me know so that we can make it fair.
Carmel came up after her.
Okay.
This is why I left the fuckery alone, because the truth will come out. I said what I said, and then people want to get on this app and just prove themselves to you that they fucking lying. So I'm not gonna get out here and try to keep defending myself. I said what I said, and I left it at that. Because I
And
don't understand how somebody could just put out what I wrote to them, but can't put out what they said to me to make the whole context make sense on what the fuck I'm sending you. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna put your messages out and just create more shit. For what? And for
the
somebody to
reason
tell me that I don't, for somebody to tell, sorry, niece, for somebody to tell me that I don't have a job and all I do is be on the app, and I could say that she could say this in general about everybody. Girl, I bought a house. I worked 2 jobs. I got 4 cars. So how this didn't just come out of the blue. This is all my hard work.
and also our generosity that God plants on everybody else for us to bless them. Sometimes, is we got to learn that everybody is not worth our our time, our kindness. You live and you learn, but it's not us. It is a you problem. And it was like I kept telling my sister, get off the app. Let's just do what we need to do. I have been off this app because this is not what I'm about to do. I don't sit up here and put anybody messages out. I don't get out here and call people names like we have been called. Even from the people that we was behind the scenes with has been out here calling us names. And that is okay. Because if you feel like that's what's going to make you better and all that other stuff, more power to you. That is a you problem. But me, I can go to sleep at night. I don't know about y'all, but y'all got to sit up here and cover up a lie that y'all didn't put out there, that y'all done said about us, and y'all got to come back and apologize to me. I don't need your apology. I forgive everybody because at the end of the day, I know my heart in general. So the people that I touched, I hope they take what I gave them, because I'm a blessing to people that come to me or I come to them. I want to help people. I'm not trying to take from people. I have 5 girls. My sister has no kids. We took a different path. Now, if my sister want to sit up here one day and just decide to have fucking kids of her own, that's just going to be her business. Okay? Even though we twins, we don't have to be going the same route. We chose different routes. If my sister want to sit up here and work to have what she want to have and not mine's come later, it is what it is. We all have goals in life. And one of my things is not to put the people down that comes in my life, to put them down. It is to help them along their path. You might help me in my path. I'm gonna help you in your path. But if you take a straight and you go a different route and I'm still going another route, we might meet path again. But I'm not gonna hold it against you. I'm gonna forgive you. And if I reach my hand out and you don't answer my call, whether if I called you blocked or not, you should understand that that was me extending myself to you. So for Safi to say that we've been giving my beautiful queen, goddess Miss Lace, money, no. And if we was, that's none of your fucking business. It's my money. I do what the fuck I want to do with my money. And it is what it is. It don't matter how much money I done gave people out here on this app that nobody don't even know about. But y'all want to sit out here and single people on who we've been giving money to. It is a blessing for me to do that. It is a blessing for iCreep to do what she does. But I don't sit up here and tell her why she doing what she doing. She want to do what the fuck she want to do.
Let her do what she want to do. Let me do what I want to do. Y'all gonna get up in the morning and do what the hell you need to do and do what you want to do. So if I choose to do what I want to do with my money when I wake up, that is my choice. Nobody else's choice. You know
Don't
what?
worry
Don't
about
worry
my
about my.
sister's
Don't worry
her
about that.
alarm.
Don't worry about that. You know that's a that I get that. I always remember Galaxy Eyes. I don't care. I love it. I'm not ashamed of my fire alarm. I'm really not, because some people don't even have houses to have that going on. I can fix it, but I didn't grow so used to it that it doesn't even bother me. And it's only one in the house that's going off. It's not all, but it's okay. I might change it. I might not. Who cares?
I do have a question for caramel and apple sticks, right? So, and I'll say it again just in case I need to. I'm gonna keep saying it. I won't call somebody a groomer until I have full context, because I think it's a lot encompasses of calling somebody a groomer, right? And I also think that it takes more than one situation to be like, this person is a groomer. I do, however, think that it does sometimes raise eyebrows when you're looking at situations from the outside looking in, right? Attack. I'm not that person, but people do have questions, right? So, and we want to hear,
Okay,
like, I
so
get people can
okay,
speak for
so
other
people
people,
have
but
okay.
we want to hear from
I'm gonna
y'all.
interrupt because we're still going on why we did what we did. Okay, I'm gonna explain why I did what I did because of what I saw. So I'm not gonna go back on because it's not my story to tell. It's really not. I'm gonna give y'all the ends of it. My kids had a bond with her girls, and since we were on the Black TikTok talent show, right? We've been talking on the app, off the app. We had some conversations off of the app, me and Safi, um, along, we talking, what she want to do with her life, how she need this. Not saying she needed a whole lot of help, but she has asked for help, okay? Um, and I was there to help in her own needs or whatever, not trying to put her business out there, but that's what it is. So when we all decided that when we were on a call amongst us women who know we were there, when we were going out there, we was like, cool, for sure. Let's meet up, whatever. Yeah. Sure, pull up. Yeah. Middle of the day, I ain't had nothing else to do. We driving around. I'm working, my sister working. I was like, fuck it. Let me stop working. It is what it is. Shit. Let's go meet up because we on this Black TikTok talent show. All right. So I meet up, um, and we get introduced to the kids. Get too attached because if something happened and this don't work out, I don't want to come in between the kids or whatever, whatnot. And so beholds, you know, that lifeline got cut. My kids got cut. It ended like that to make things short. So the kids had a bond, and from certain situations, they weren't happy. I can't go into that or whatever. We're not. So it's like, all right, let's see how we can make everybody happy. So kids asked, oh, can we go spend some time with you? I was like, all right, let me think about it. Then we talk behind the scenes with the ladies and be like, yeah, is this a good idea? Well, yeah, sure. Kids need to be happy. They need to see the outside of this and that and that. It's not like I just made the decision to just go out here and do this by myself without consulting with anybody that knows me, so that shit don't get misconstrued and those who know was there. So it's like, okay, fuck it. Everybody knew. So we had a movie night. Came over, movie night, girls was having fun. They opened up to me, more than what I thought they were going to do and stuff like that, and just left it like that. Took them home the next day. Oh, can we come over again? We had so much fun and this and that. And I was like, okay, let me talk to your mama about it and we'll go from there. Sometime later, I talked to Safia and I was like, Do you want to start letting them come over and stuff like that? Yeah, sure. You're their second mom. Sure, take them. Take them. And I'm like, okay. Since we bonded, I'm talking to Sophie. We in communication. She has my number. She knows where I live. She has my address in her phone. I'm pretty sure because I texted to her. She called me when they spent the night the second time. They only spent the night twice. The second time. And I was on the phone with her practically maybe like 5 hours while we were in my daughter's room, and I was flat ironing her hair. It was a girl's day. Make them feel like too damn far. You think that's too damn far? Anyways, I'm not going to even pay attention to the comments
I
because
do have a question from the comments real quick. Have you guys ever switched places? I'm not sure, but the people want to know. Carmal and Apple Sticks, have you guys ever switched places? I'm not sure what the relevance of that comment is, but have you guys
no,
ever switched places?
no. Why would I
No.
want to be around my sister and her life when I have my own life that I'm accustomed to? My husband know who I am. Her husband know who she is. So how is that gonna work? Please tell me. That's the most stupidest shit. You play that shit in high school.
That's some sick shit right
Now, I do
there.
got a question. Did y'all do that in high
That's
school?
sick.
Just because we're talking about it. Did y'all
We
do that
didn't,
in high
we
school?
didn't even do that in high school because I loved my class and she loved her class. So I didn't even do that shit in high school. We didn't even do that shit with boyfriends. I don't like who she like. We got different tastes. Just like I said, we take our own path. Some twins are, yes, baby, excuse me, 1 second. Um, you would think that some twins do the same stuff and like the same
Mm-hmm.
stuff. You do like the same stuff and do the same stuff, and we're into the same stuff, but it just sometimes we just venture off. It is what it is. I'm more of a hard
Sense.
ass. My sister is more of a softer kind. Me, I'm more of a I don't give a fuck.
I got another question from the comments. What about the man she says ended up being there? I'm not sure what that comment was in reference. So if Tavia Flavor, if you can provide clarity for that question that you had with them, because I'm not sure about any
Well, Sophie
man.
can say she tricked by them because she bipolar. I'm gonna call her that. And you want to know something, Sophie? I don't even want to keep calling your kids damaged because you know what? Those kids are not damaged. They are scarred from you. And I try to make them a little bit happy. Besides everything, because I know how it is growing up a girl in a situation that's at your home, and it's like I know what they expressed to me. And that was the saddest part. So me being there for them to even give them a little joy was enough for me. Okay? So I'm not gonna even call them damaged no more because that hurt my feelings that anybody would say that they were damaged. Have I said I don't recall me saying they were damaged or whatever, whatnot, but I haven't been on here to call
I
them
probably
damaged.
said it.
But
So
So
they are
Tavia,
scarred.
Camel Wax.
Tavia
Camel
clarify.
They
Wax and
are
Apple
scarred.
Sticks. Are
Tavia
y'all
clar-
married?
I'm married.
Yes, I'm
Been
married.
married for
And your and
7
your and
years.
your and your husband lives with you, right?
My husband lives with me.
Yeah,
So
but
that
what
normal
Why
kind of
is my
boyfriend.
question is
husband
that?
No,
Why wouldn't my
because
husband with me?
the comment said Safi said there was to be no men around, and I'm like, if she married, how is there gonna be no men in her house?
that was my next question. Because she clarified on that
Now
question.
y'all play too much.
Yeah, with the man
You
around.
told me you
Safi
fucking
said there
sick.
was no man around, but found out there was man around with her kids spent the night. I guess
Why
I'm
are the
gonna have to
questions
agree with.
all
Ask that question. Watch me work because they're married women. If and they have children, and Calma has children. So if the children go on a play date at her house and spend the night, her husband's gonna be there, and that's a man.
I do have a question from the and this is a question Lotta asked too. Can you ask why she thought it was appropriate to have her boundaries broken? So something I do want to say, Carmel, is that I heard you say, about the auntie,
Yes,
like
baby.
call this person auntie thing. And I think it's so important to that. I don't care what somebody else's sense of norm is. This is just how I choose to operate. But I don't care what somebody else's sense of norm is. I care about my boundaries being respected, right? So like for me, I don't subscribe to the like if I'm around somebody's children that I don't really know like that, and they be like, "This your auntie," I'm gonna tell them and be like, "Oh no, like this is not, I'm not your auntie, I'm just your mama friend." You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna have them
Okay,
respect
but
your
you
boundaries
know,
because
you
I think
can't.
hold on real quick.
You-
I think it's a teachable moment for the mother and the child. Everybody don't
it's
operate like that, and I get that. I understand. I'm gonna say that I understand why you thought that it was acceptable. I still don't think that it was, and I still think it's kind of weird, but I can understand it from your perspective of why you thought it was okay. Like, it makes sense. You get what I'm saying? I do
Mhm.
still think like it does raise an eyebrow, but I understand it from your perspective of why you thought that. So can we kind of like, why did you I also want to say to anybody arguing with Leola in the comments, if you don't like Leola or whoever that you don't like, it could be Sobe, it could be Blaze, Palesa, I Creep. Like, let's just respect everybody, like, in that space in the comments. Like, we
I
just
didn't
trying to
say
have an
anything to
adult
Leola.
conversation. I've
Madam
had to
Mia,
block people for talking about Blaze kids. I've had to block people
Oh,
for talking about Sobe.
this is
I've had
just
to
ridiculous.
block.
Why is this? This is just you. Okay, let me say
yes.
this. You know what? To me, I I keep saying this all the time. If it doesn't apply, I'ma let it fly. But y'all keep coming on here saying the most excruciating stuff that does not apply to what my goal was to even at least just give them a little bit of hope from the situation that they told me they was in. So if anybody had a problem with that, y'all didn't live it, y'all didn't go through it. Everybody has an opinion. But at the end of the day, my opinion matters. Y'all can just go on and have an opinion because as the days went on when this came out, if you keep talking about it, people start having their own opinion. And then you start going off their opinion, then it goes back to the original story. Nobody knows the original story because everybody didn't put their hands in the cookie jar. So when I came out and I said what I said, I left it like that. Ain't nobody dipping in this cookie jar because I said what I said. So if everybody got an opinion about what happened, none of y'all was there.
I just want to say something real quick. And this is directed, even I see I Creep in the comments. We have been talking about the kids for a very long time now. We're talking
But y'all
about the
haven't though.
behaviors
I just have
of
a different
adults.
opinion.
We're talking about behaviors of adults that has to do with children. So in essence, we're talking about the children.
Madam
So
Hill, all you're doing is record, and that's all you want to do, and put it on your page. You're not here for any clarity or
who?
nothing like that. You only here
Me?
for drama. Talking about Madam Hill, you only here for drama to
Oh,
put
I'm
on
like,
your
wait a
page.
minute. I don't be
You're not
recording.
here
Can I speak
to
for
even listen.
myself? Because it seems like a
But
lot of people like to be speaking for me,
I
and I just think that that's weird.
I do think that we're talking about behavior of adults that leads to children. So let's go back to the question, Carl, that you were asked. Why did you step outside of your boundaries?
I couldn't even respond to somebody addressing me
No, we'll
or
get you next. I Creek, because Carmel was still talking, but
okay.
we're talking about is this am I missing something? Is this not about the kids?
But I want to know
Yeah, because
what
there's a lot of people agreeing with me in the
what it,
comments, even though
I
They
want
can
to know
agree.
saying
what
that this
They
is
can
not about the
agree if
kids.
they kind of want to. That's cool.
But
If we
I'm
can all
just
agree
I'll
to
let
disagree.
Carmel talk because
wait. I
I'll let
want to know like
Carmel talk, and I want her to
does it
finish.
admit when she stepped
I don't know
outside
what
her
y'all think.
boundaries?
There's
What do
three
they
people
do?
talking right now.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. But let Carmel finish with that
You
question,
jumping
and
around the
then
question. Girl, I'm not about to answer none of y'all
and that's
questions.
fine. You don't have to answer. I totally
No, I'm
respect
not
that.
talking to you. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the disrespectful person in the comment section who's being very
Oh, did I
disrespectful
miss
to
one?
me, asking me the dumbest questions ever.
Okay, hold
That's
on.
all I'm.
What was the question? Was it really?
It really wasn't a question. I was just putting my own stuff out there because at the end of the day, I said what I said. I'm not gonna answer none of y'all questions. I'm not gonna show y'all picture. I have a video of all the family that was there in Vegas. It's so funny because I'm not gonna even go there. But to answer your question, did I find that weird or whatnot? Well, we were behind the scenes, and the girls that's what they're accustomed to, right? And I put my boundaries out there. So it was you can call me Nisha, you can call me Auntie. Sometimes I'll correct them, and then sometimes because they're if that's comfortable from what they told me, you know, I'm not. I wasn't letting my boundaries down, but it was more, how do I give them a sense of, it's a safe space for them, because I don't want to be in it's how can I explain this? Because at the time it was happening, I was just like, wow, I don't want to, you know, I didn't want to do that to them. Because at first I did do my boundaries. I was like, no, I'm Nisha. Then after what they told me, I was like, no, we're gonna be aunties. And then I told them, you know what? After I talked to Safi, and I told her, if I'm gonna really be their auntie, I'm going to really step up and be their auntie. So I allowed them to call me auntie. And then I said, if I do allow them to call me auntie, are you gonna take them from me? And I have messages in my phone that says the exact same thing. And she does that. So now those girls is like, they told me that every time mommy gets a friend, she goes and takes us away from them. So that's why they don't. Let me not tell the story.
Yeah, don't tell too much and
Yeah.
disclose. I know
So
that you've
that's
had some
why, because I
personal
gotta tell you their
conversation.
story in order for me to tell you why I allowed them to do what they did.
No, you don't have to tell the full story. I can understand
I'm
it from the
not.
perspective if you saw something that you felt. I can understand it from a perspective if you saw something that you felt those key. I'm not gonna say be saved from, or I don't want to use that word like. Let's just say you saw something that made you uncomfortable with their situation. I'll just say that I could understand like in the person to want to step in. That people have is not providing more clarity, and people taking different things and not putting things into context, which goes back to me saying like, I'm not going to call somebody a groomer, but this is what this looks like. I understand what you're saying. I get it, but somebody did have a question and said once Sophie said no contact, then I don't know, I didn't see this in any live, but apparently people are asking, like, I guess Sophie said no contact,
Oh my
why
God.
wasn't that respected?
Nobody. Okay,
Nisha,
so look,
Nisha, Nisha,
look. This
Nisha.
is
Let me
this
let me
is
tell you.
pissing me off,
This
really,
this
because after the whole situation or whatever, whatnot, we left her alone. We didn't talk to her until the next incident, and we got dragged into that to even go over there and help the woman. Because I fought tooth and nail, and I was like, I'm not doing it. I already had hurt my kids' feeling, hurt my feeling. I'm not about to do nothing else. But what did I do? Took in faith, gave her a second chance, and look what the fuck happened again. So I don't want to hear nobody say, "Oh, why you didn't leave the kids alone?" I did leave those kids alone. I didn't say nothing else to them kids.
And she did.
I didn't do
The
right.
nothing.
situation had something to
I
do with the
left the
kids going
whole
to school at
situation
school.
alone. Didn't speak to her, didn't say nothing to her, didn't even text the kids, didn't do nothing to the kids. But she kept texting. She kept texting. So the little thing she got posted up on her little thing,
Real
leaving
quick,
the kids,
sorry. I just gotta address
that's
something.
bogus shit.
Somebody tagged me. I'm sorry, y'all, but I'm trying to figure out. I don't want to suppress the comments because we truly believe that y'all have a voice and y'all have a right to ask some questions. But from what I'm seeing,
But
there's a
I
lot
don't
of
know.
disrespect coming people on the panel. This is a neutral space, so like whatever issues that you have with people on the panel, we're just trying to get the questions answered that people may have just because we nosy. That's it. That's all. So y'all don't gotta be mean, and I'm trying to figure out how to shut y'all off. I don't want to do that, but stop being mean to these people.
I don't care. They can be mean all they want. Because at the end of the day, I am not going to cry. Because when I cut this app off, I cut it off. And y'all just going to be talking to a brick wall. Because when I said what I said, I said what I said. Y'all just going to be arguing with yourself because you can't argue with me unless I'm here. So you can talk about me all you want, say what you want, all of that. I'm not here. So You're not doing nothing but just fighting with yourself and fighting with everybody's opinion, because nothing is getting said, nothing is getting done because you don't have the other party.
The screen, get some likes up, tap, tap, tap.
Me personally though, like I'm not unless somebody talking personally about like somebody's kids. Like I seen somebody saying something about Blaze kids, and you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying, little
they
shit
shit
like that.
crazy.
I don't tolerate at all. But other than that, it's like pop your shit. Like, because this is the space for that. Because when I'm in somebody else's comments, even just asking a question, I get blocked. And you know what I'm saying? Or not even necessarily heckling. You feel me? But I'm always fucking getting blocked. Like, damn, I ain't even done shit. So
You want me to turn them back on?
I mean, at your discretion. If you feel like they
I'm
getting
gonna
out of
leave them
pocket,
off for just a second, y'all. I just want y'all to know, like, ask the questions that you need to, right? Like, people are answering some pretty tough questions right now,
yeah,
right?
this shit is a
Ain't
lot.
nobody on nobody's
Respectfully,
side.
like this shit is a lot.
But this is not like a light situation. Like, we're talking, people are labeling people groomers. People are doing things that you normally shouldn't do with your own kids or somebody else's kids or
Now
whatever.
let me say this. Let me say this. I don't I don't like hearing her side. I won't necessarily label her or a groomer. However, like Blaze mentioned in a previous live, I do think she honestly was taking it a little. I'm not gonna say too serious, but she was really like, "Yes, I'm gonna be their aunt." And you know, although your intentions was good, you know what I'm saying, your heart really may have been good. You know what I'm saying? Like it just it gives kind of like my sister say, like I won't say weird, but it's just like whoa. You know what I'm saying? It's like whoa. But if the mom was allowing that, it's kind of like I don't know. I'm mute.
We could say anything. The mom, like you go ahead and finish that. Because if the mom was allowing this and they had a relationship and a dynamic between them, and obviously the kids had dynamic, Carmal Wax children's kids had a dynamic with these children. So it's
Right.
not, to me, it's not far
Like,
fetched about what was going on.
and I feel that way too, Blaze. I genuinely feel that way too. You know what I'm saying? But it does give a little like, hey, you know what I'm saying?
Hey,
I
it
can see
was
both
weird, but that's as far,
sides.
yeah.
Figure out what
Like I
part
said,
of
it
it
looks
gives
weird,
ick
but
though. Like
as the
after
far as to
explaining
The
go
it,
it
rumor and all that, I'm just not there.
I'm being I want to make sure you know I'm being
listen,
respectful here
y'all,
because I
comes from my personal traumas and triggers. That's the ick for me. You hear me? If I could be transparent, like that's the ick for me because I've been through a lot, and really,
I
my
can
mama shouldn't
understand
let me
that.
go places
I
that
can
I
understand
fucking
that.
went. You hear me, girl? Like, girl, I'm looking at my mama today, like, what the fuck you let me
I
go with
can
these people for? They
understand
was
that.
nasty.
I think
You know what I'm saying?
where where my
So that's the
concern
ick.
comes from is the and I think we all agree that the term groomer is too far for this situation. Me personally, listening to all sides of this, hearing Safi's side, hearing the twin side, hearing everybody else's perspective, I don't find it to be as weird because of my background and my circumstances and having the mother that I had. I can understand being that child that clings on to that adult that is treating them better than their parents are treating them. So I can understand how for some people it's kind of hard to ignore that child. And if we say if we're all saying that at the end of the day we should all protect children, what do we mean exactly? Because if your friend's child is disclosing to you that they are unhappy at home, um now personally I think more conversation should have been had with Safi as friends. Like if this is y'all's friend, if y'all are having a friendship, I think more conversation should have happened parent to parent. But at the end of the day, you also are trying to keep the confidence of that child too, because sometimes when you go back and you tell the parent, right? Like I trusted adults. Wait, can I
I
finish?
share the
I've
same
been,
my
No,
perspective.
I've been up here.
no, I'm just saying it wasn't conversation between me and Sophie with the girls, what they were saying, and I wanted to talk to her. But I didn't get a
Okay.
chance to because all this happened, and me and Sophie were in agreement that I was going to help her. That's what I said with helping. I didn't want to go into details on whatever, whatnot, but I was there to help her to get her life together. It wasn't me to just take over her kids and everything. I didn't even touch bases on that. I wasn't going to take her kid.
After police is done, can
Cut
we
the
let
screen,
iCreep
guys.
go?
They're
Because she's been saying
recording.
she
Trying
wanted
to
to speak
record.
for a minute. After police is done, because iCreep ain't speak for a while.
I was just saying, like I say all the time, it's a thin line when it comes to protecting anybody in this society because anybody can take advantage of you on either side of this. So I'm just speaking from my experience and why I was uncomfortable calling anybody a groomer from this information. Yes, things might have happened differently than how I would have done them, but at the end of the day, the label groomer is too far. And if we don't see that as a collective, that putting that label groomer on these girls, on these women, because they're not girls, these women, if we don't think that's too far, I don't really get how we're protecting children if we're just running with things, because all of this affects the kids. These kids here, they obviously know what's going on because their mother is involving them. Their mother is allowing them to be interviewed by other adults about this situation. So these kids are hearing this too. So for anybody to just run with that label without any type of concrete proof that that is exactly what it is, because things can get misconstrued, especially when you're trying to help children, when you're trying to be a safe space for a child.
But I do
Because
have a
sometimes
question.
you can talk to those adults and those adults turn around and take that anger, because now you telling their business, right? Now you putting their business out in the streets when you're just a child crying out for help. You need help because in-home is abusive. So you're reaching out to adults outside the home. That adult talks to the adult inside the home. And what happens? In a lot of cases, that kid turns around to get re-abused by their parent.
I do think two
So
things
it's so
can.
many factors. I'm
I
sorry,
do.
go ahead.
I do think two things can be true at one time, right? So I do think that that is an issue, with Sophie. But I also think it's an issue with people being too friendly and being comfortable with somebody else's child. That you think these people from this app. That goes back to my original thing. Like, people are associates to me. What it
I
look
said
like
it's a
versus
thin line. It's a thin line.
it
You
is.
want to help. You want to help. You see a child that is in, like, you, because kids are the most abused people on this planet. So you know that kids are going through sexual abuse, they're going through physical abuse, they're going through mental abuse, they're going through emotional abuse, and you're an adult and you see this, and then you have a child, because children pick up on energies. So sometimes kids trust adults that they feel like
Naturally.
they can trust, and they tell these adults. And like I said, that could be a thin line, because one, you could be telling a more abusive adult, or you could be telling an adult that tries to help, and then in that situation, that adult becomes victimized, and then you become re-victimized, because now that parent in home that is abusive to you is upset that now her secrets are out. I lived that life. And
So
I'm
did
not saying
I.
that this is the exact story, but what I'm saying is it's too many factors and not enough evidence for us to be out here calling them groomers. Don't do that unless you have concrete proof. Don't put that type of label on somebody unless you have concrete proof.
And I agree. That's why I said full context is definitely needed in these situations. And then we'll go back. It looks like the comments want to go back to the. Yeah, I creep. I do have some questions for Palisa, but you did want to speak as well, because I do think that it was inappropriate to have you at 17 such closely knit into the space. And I did say that earlier. I can repeat it while she's here too. So I do have those questions as well, but I was allowing you to speak since I know you've been sitting up here for a while. So I creep, if you want to go ahead and speak, because I do have some more questions that I have.
I'm making it. Yeah.
Can't hear you. Nope.
No, we can't hear you, I creep. Okay, I creep was she must be going in and out. So to circle back around, brown skin did ask, like, was there some communication with the kids after Safi said, stop contacting my kids?
That yes, no. Yes, Southie called. There was something going on.
Just
Oh,
said no. There was
You said
no
is that
there
communication,
was no
nothing at all.
contact.
It's just,
There
I
was
don't
no
overstep my
contact.
boundaries when it comes to other people's kids because I have kids of my own. Somebody tell me to leave their kids alone, I'm gonna leave you and her alone, you and the kids alone, because at the end of the day, I know that my heart
I
was
creep wants to come
genuine
back
and
up.
I left her with that. And that was it. Do not ask the question again.
sis, let I creep up so she can talk, y'all, because she her battery is about to
Point
die.
blank.
She only has 4
No.
bars.
The question and the answer has been answered. No. There was no communication.
So they
Don't
said
ask the
no.
question.
So they said no, guys. For that, they said I haven't seen. If y'all know something different in the comments and seen some proof otherwise, but they did answer that question and they clarified that there was no communication after Sophie said to stop contacting the kids because that would be a whole different conversation. But they said no, unless you have some other proof that that didn't happen. Like we gotta listen to what people are saying unless something else is presented. This is the context that we have right now. Sis, can you let I creep up? She might be away from her phone. I don't know if I can do it, y'all. Can I let her up? I can't.
Only
Yeah.
the host can let him up.
Okay.
Holy Ghost come on.
Believe the victim. Yes, they did discuss that. So while I creep is coming up, because I did have a question for Palesa. So they did, oh wait, I creep is up, so I'm not gonna
Wait a
call
Can
you.
y'all hear me now?
Yeah, we
Can
can
I
hear
ask
you
y'all
now.
Yeah,
something?
you
I
all
want to
good.
just
I
ask
feel
y'all
like
Hold on,
some.
Tanya, let her talk because her phone.
wait. I'm
Tanya, let her
asking,
talk.
what does it mean? I'm finna let
You
her
gotta
talk, but
let
I want to
Creep
ask
talk.
y'all something because I don't know. What does it mean when three red bars sit next to your name?
What
Does
does
that
it
mean
mean?
somebody report?
I
They're
don't know,
reporting.
but somebody might be. So you might want to drop down or something and come back up. You might be
Yeah,
getting
I'm gonna
recorded.
go. I'm gonna go because I never seen that. Okay.
All right.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yes, we can.
I really, I'm really disappointed by a lot of people, in this situation because I don't feel like this is really for the kids. I feel like people say that just to make it sound better than what it is. No Cry Zone is not here, but even when she was here, she was talking about that she's trying to save me from something, which how you trying to save me, but you turned around and you talked about Police's daughter saying if something happened to her, she not gonna believe her. I just think that's crazy. And I feel like some of these questions in the comments are being cherry picked. And that's just my opinion. That's why a lot of people don't like me because I tell the truth and I have a very strong opinion. This is not for the kids because, and it kind of rubbed me the wrong way when you said, oh, we messy, we just have questions. Okay, well, if it's really for the kids, it shouldn't be a messy situation. It should be about the kids. People have barely talked about the kids since we've been up here. It's been about the twins and are they groomers or not groomers? That's the main question around here. I don't see nothing really about no kids or people who are a danger to kids or what No Cry Zone been saying about kids and stuff on this app.
But
And
that
what she
doesn't
just
that
said
tie
about
in,
something.
but doesn't that tie into the kids? Because here's the
No.
thing, you can say that from your
It
perspective,
does.
and I understand that, but we are talking about the kids. We're talking
But
about the mother and her actions, and we're talking about the other two people involved with the children. So how is that not about the kids?
I'm just saying when you
Like,
say
what you want us
something
to say about
Well,
it?
exactly.
Like,
I
you
guess
turn
that's my
around and
question.
say,
So, like, my question to I Creep, because you said it a
okay,
lot.
so you might
If
be
this is not about
corrected.
the kids,
I think
hold on, wait, let me clarify
Why
my
might be
question. If this is not about the kids, and we're talking about the
oh my,
behaviors of the mother and the other two people involved with the kids, how is it not about the kids?
I got interrupted. So y'all, y'all think it was adults in this app, and everybody had their time off, but all of a sudden I start talking. I get it though. I have time for that, but I'm just saying you can't say something.
You breaking up, sweetie. You breaking up.
Doing all the extra, and they can say,
I creep. You breaking up
y'all
a little bit, like you going in and out real bad.
hear me?
You going in and out. I don't know. Can anybody else hear? Is it doing that?
No, we can't hear you, I creep. You're breaking up.
Yeah, she
Okay.
breaking up real bad.
Yeah. Can you go out and request back? Can you see me?
I'm gonna say this, right? Because for me, it's been about the kids. Speaking on Safi and her parenting is about the kids. What do you want me to do? Talk to the kids? No, I'm not gonna do that. I am not gonna talk to the kids.
I'm
It's
sorry.
about the kids.
Do you guys think we should let Safi back up?
I want Safi. We got a lot of questions for Safi.
I just want to let y'all know if y'all let
Okay,
Safi
can y'all hear me now? Or is it
if
still
y'all
breaking
let
up?
Safi up, I will drop down because I want no dealings with this woman. I don't want to be in the presence, and I will leave this live. I'm just
I
letting y'all
respect
know
I
that.
ahead of
respect
time
that.
And I'm not gonna be
because this
Absolutely.
woman
disrespected
has
because
done
I do
too
not get on
much.
this
There's
I
safe
app.
will
space
not
for
I'm not
everybody.
gonna
entertain
be
it.
called out my name.
Again,
I'm not gonna be called any kind of name because I don't get on this app and call nobody out their name. I ain't call nobody no name. I appreciate everybody. I respect everybody. I respect myself, and I'm gonna
I
respect others.
respect that.
But if I'm not gonna be in the box, but I will. I'll be here, and when she gets out,
If
I'll
we
get back
find her
in.
and she come back, I'm gonna let her up.
I'm not. I'm
We
not.
we
I'm not even gonna
tried.
be in the live
This
I'm gonna let
period.
her up.
I'm leaving.
We tried. So I speak, I mean, I agree to speak to your point. Y'all haven't made it about the kids because y'all talk about everybody's everything else, the way people look. Y'all talk about
Who is
everything else
y'all?
in
I
these
didn't have the time to
conversations.
speak when
Right.
I got
So
up
like
here.
I'm saying in every conversation, y'all don't just
That's
strictly
her. I just
stick
want to protect
to
her.
the
Who is
kids.
y'all?
Well, everybody. So y'all don't
Who
just
is y'all?
anybody. So y'all don't just speak to the kids. So my question for you
I'm
is
trying to see why people are speaking
if
for
we're
me.
not
Every time I
speaking
jump up
about
here and
if
I'm
we
trying to speak, I
my
can never get a
question to
word
you
in.
is if what are we talking about? If we're talking about the actions of a mother and we're talking about the actions of people that were potentially the mother's friends in dealing with these kids, how are we not talking about the kids?
Can I get a pen because I feel like that every time I jump in a place,
Baby, I can't hear you. When you
somebody
do
interrupt
talk,
me.
we can't hear you.
I can never get a word in.
We can't
The
hear
I'm
you.
battery.
gonna
You're
try
breaking
now.
up.
Can y'all hear me now?
No.
Hold on, I'll be back.
Your background is too loud.
I want anybody to answer that question. If people feel like that we're not talking about the kids and we don't care,
So
yes, it is drama. There's been a
I'm gonna
lot of
say
drama
this.
inside of protecting the kids, and we're gonna call out the drama too. But if we're talking about, we've been talking about, as far as I know, we've been talking about the actions of the adults surrounding the children, right? So what else? So how is that not talking about the kids? If anyone wants to come up and explain how we're not talking about the kids, please feel free to do so.
Say this, right? I think that when people, this is what I get from it. When people say it's not about the kids, it's like they want us, strangers, to talk to the kids. And I'm not going to do that. I don't know them
Like
kids. I don't know
Tanya,
the mother.
and
Are
we're
you
not doing that.
crazy? When we talk,
We're
when
not
we
finna
talk
host
about
no
people's,
live for no 2 hours with
exactly,
the
when we talk
kids in
about
there
people's
kicking it. We're
actions
not doing that.
that relates to kids, that is talking about protecting the kids, because we're talking about the adults that are involved, like an abuser or groomer. Like we cannot talk to the kids. We are not no CPS workers. We are not no detectives. So we ain't talking to the kids. But we're bringing awareness to the people that are involved. That's it. I don't understand. What do you mean it's not about the kids? That just infuriates me. I don't understand.
Anybody else after Selby?
I'm just here to answer any more questions anybody has
I
or anything else. I said what I said.
I just oh sorry, I just wanted to
100.
ask.
Um,
I just want to say I'm gonna drop down, and because I gotta go to work,
Yeah, go get the bag, girl.
and
Go get the bag.
We
I'll
couldn't
chime
hear
back
you,
in.
Ivory.
So it is what it is. My sister got it.
I wanted to ask because I was actually invited up here, so I wanted to ask, like, what was I brought up here for? A specific reason?
I thought they had questions.
I did have some questions for Lisa. I don't know.
Go
I
ahead.
don't normally invite people up to the live. My sister hosted, so I didn't know she invited you up to the live. I normally people come up and they
Yes, girl,
want
I
to talk.
did.
Yeah, so
I
I don't normally invite,
fangirled.
but
Okay.
I'm hosting. But I did have
Yeah, I
questions
mean,
for
you can
you.
ask me anything.
Yeah, I do have questions because I also think, and iCreep had mentioned this. iCreep, I'm sorry, my sister invited y'all up. I don't do that. I actually like people to come up on their own. So I didn't know y'all was getting invited up. But whatever she do, she do. This her platform. I'm just a co-host here.
No, and they did have quite a bit to say too in the comments. So I figured
iCreep, I
come on
did mention
up.
you. The live the live, I'm going to talk about the things that we see on TikTok. And if somebody's name is mentioned, they're more than welcome to come up. And if somebody is supporters of whoever, they're more than welcome to come up. I've said that numerous times, that's why we go live. That's why we did that first live. But I do notice something, and I want to point this out. And I'm going to point this out because it's something that iCreep said. And this goes back to my first live that I had about Genty, that I feel like as long as you're on somebody's side or quote unquote, then you're safe. I have watched certain people like switch up for sure in comments that I know I've been in spaces when and who have agreed with me on certain things, right? So I am going, we have questions. So my question for Lisa, because going back to the grooming, because I think you're being called a groomer too. I don't, again, disclaimer, I'm not calling anybody a groomer because I don't have enough context to say that if you're a groomer or not. But what I will say, iCreep did say something like, what about, like, she's been in your life since she was 17. You knew that she was 17 when she was in your lives kind of heavy, right? So iCreep said, well, what about
It's not
Jinty?
what I creep said, baby.
No, she
Because I
did
didn't
say
know. No, she said. She
wait.
said I
I'm not
didn't
done.
know
She
she
said
was
I didn't.
17 until I said it in Tanya's live.
You right,
Tanya
which means
came
you. Hold on.
way
I'm not
after I
lying.
creep have
That
been
does
following
mean
me.
that you knew she was 17, correct?
After a year, almost, she was
Okay,
almost
so
18.
you
Hold
did
on, wait,
know
wait, wait.
that she was 17.
But the context in what you're saying is that I knew from jump that she was
No, I'm
17.
not
I
saying
didn't
that's
know
not
till
what
about
I
a year
said.
later until she was
I'm not
almost
saying,
18.
listen, I'm not, you knew she was 17 when she was 17. And the reason that I say that is because I was in those spaces. I saw that for myself. But what I'm saying is that what she said, though, about, I saw that for myself. I said that. I saw that. I said I saw that you knew she was 17 when she was 17 because I remember it being a big deal even on the other side. I said that I saw that. And I said that originally when Blaze was in here, before
Can
you even got in
I,
here, that was something that I saw. Now,
hold
what
on.
I'm
Can I
saying
interject a
is,
little bit?
hold on. No, let me finish my thought. What I'm saying that iCreep said is she said, what about Genty and what about I Speak having moderators that are 17? That's what I'm referring to, what iCreep stated. I said that I saw her being 17 and you being aware, and she said, what about them? So my question was, and my question for you is, if we have knowledge that somebody is 17, it's not a lie, it's recorded. If we have knowledge that somebody is 17, based on what I saw, not that somebody else told me, if you had that knowledge that she was 17, now you're saying that you didn't, I saw it myself, but if we have knowledge that somebody is 17, and if we consider that grooming or whatever else on Genty and I Speak side, and let's be clear, both of those creators have me blocked. But if we see it on their side, why is it okay, on the other side was the question that I have from you originally. There's no lies here. There's no reason for me to lie. You know why there's no reason for me to lie? Because I don't know any of you. I don't gain nothing by lying on anybody at all. So I creep. In my
What's the
space,
question
like you're
again, bro?
welcome to speak, but I
What's
really
the
think that you're a
question?
little bit too young for these conversations. What's up, Lisa?
What's because I just want to. What is the direct question? What
The
is the
direct
question so I can
question
answer it?
is, I know for a fact that you had knowledge that she was 17 and she was in your spaces kind of heavy. I know that to be true because I saw it myself. So why, if on the other side it's considered grooming, why would it then be acceptable on your side?
Well, first of all, I never called Patrick a groomer. I never said anything about Patrick. I saw, like everybody else, that he had a 17-year-old mod. Now, I made it clear to iCreep that she could not be my mod because she was too young. My space was not a space for a young girl to be my mod. She even asked me when I turned 18, can I be your mod? And I told her, I don't know. I'll think about it. And I never made iCreep my mod. So
So, Palesa, I
I
want to
don't
correct
really
you.
understand.
You just said, hold on. You just said a few minutes ago that you didn't know that she was 17 until she turned 18. But then
No,
you
that's
just
not what I
said,
said. You didn't listen to what I said.
you
That's
said
not
a
what I
year
said.
later.
That
Wait,
is
you
not
said
what I said.
that is
I
what you
said
said.
until she was almost 18
Okay,
because she
so
had been in my live.
which means
She had,
what I
first of
said
all,
was not
hold
a
on.
lie. Which means what
Wait
I
a minute.
said was not a
Hold
lie
up.
about you having knowledge that she was 17 when she was 17, correct?
I didn't say I didn't know that she was 17 when
Okay,
she was
I just want
17.
to clear that
I
up.
said, hold on, let's clear all of this up because you misquoted what iCreep said. You said iCreep said I knew she was 17 from jump, which I didn't. I didn't know until iCreep disclosed it on a live that she was 17, almost a year after she had been following me. Not only on TikTok, iCreep started following me on Instagram. And the only reason I put two and two together and knew who she was is because she said, I don't even think she said she was 17. She said, I've been going to college since I was 15. And I thought back to my followers on Instagram and I said, there's a girl that be going in on the racist in my comment section that went to college at 15. I said, damn, I think I know who you are. I think I know who you are because you've been following me on Instagram. She said, yeah, that's me. That was it. I ain't never asked iCreep to do anything. I ain't never asked iCreep for no money. I ain't never let iCreep be my mod. I let her know that I'm an adult. You are a child. So there are going to be boundaries. Me and iCreep done bumped heads a lot of times. And not only that, we talked to her mother. We've had Zooms with her mother who wanted her to be around older women that would guide her because she wants to be an activist for the younger generation. I've been an activist for over 10 years. I more so like to call myself a revolutionary now. But I've been an activist. I've been doing activist work. Hold on, baby. I've been doing activist work for over 10 years. So yes, I can guide, I can mentor, but that is the basis of our relationship because like I told iCreep, my child is your age. I'd be damned if you don't give me the respect as an adult that I would expect from my own child. And after a while, I stopped doing those Zoom calls because it was nothing but fucking drama and I didn't want to be a part of it. I ain't never asked iCreep for nothing. Absolutely nothing. What she gifted was what she gifted.
I just want to clarify. I never said that she knew from the beginning. What I said was, and I want to be very clear because it is being recorded. It is recorded. I can always pull it up. What I said was she knew she was 17 when she was 17. That I don't care if she knew when she first found out or she found out later. At the time, I creep was
With allowing her in
17.
my lives at 17, like I don't get it.
She was not.
It ain't like I
Listen,
was doing anything with this girl behind the scenes. It ain't like I was having any personal
no one
conversations
said
with
that.
her. I wasn't talking to her
That's
on the
not the
phone. Like
question.
none of that.
That's not the
None.
question.
So what? So
The
what?
question is because
What I'm
I
asking is
don't.
what is the comparison here?
I'm asking the question. At 17, she was definitely in boxes. Now, she may not have been a mod, but she
Speaking
was
from a child's
allowed
point of view,
to,
speaking
but
from a
she was,
17-year-old,
but wait a
a
minute.
young generation,
She
because they
was
are abused and
allowed
harassed
to
and,
be
and
in
sexually assaulted
spaces.
too.
She was allowed to be in spaces with adults at 17. That is the same thing that's
with her
happening
mother's
on the
permission.
other end, too.
That's the
Everybody
way.
is having
In a world full of
17-year-olds
adults.
in their spaces,
That
in their
would mean
box,
all of our grown
being.
asses need to get the fuck off TikTok because TikTok is a kid's app. So
It's
what the
no
fuck are
longer
any
a
of our
kid's
grown asses
app.
doing out here?
So
You
it's
don't
no
think you have
longer a
kids in your
kid
space right now? Everybody ain't telling you how old they are in that comment section. So you probably got
box to be somebody's mod and to be in someone's comments so hard the way that some of these 17-year-olds are basically in these spaces. I don't agree with it being on Genty side. I don't agree with it
doing
being
what
icy.
though? That's
I
what I'm
don't agree with
asking.
it
I'm
on
talking to the
any
comment
side.
section because
So my
they're trying.
question go jump
Talking
back.
over each other and talk calmly.
Yeah, like listen, here's the thing. We're asking question because like I said, we're nosy and we see everything going on. But this is a very serious conversation here. And I feel like that there is a lot of deflection that happens. And I feel like the
I think I'm
deflection
just
comes
not
from
understanding
like
your
the
question,
interrupting.
baby.
And I feel
I'm not
like the
trying to
deflection,
deflect. I'm just not
you are trying
understanding
to
your
reflect for
question.
sure. And I
No,
do those in their spaces, whether it be mods or whether they be inside of the box, right? So for me, both anything all of that is wrong, right? So in the box is wrong, being a mod is wrong, having a 17-year-old be in your space like that. Why is it okay for you but not okay for the other people is my question. That's it.
Okay. You want to go,
so I'm
sis?
going to answer again like I answered before because that's what I thought your question was, right? So first of all, you're saying what is the what is the difference, right? I never said Patrick was a groomer because he had 17-year-olds in his life. I never called Patrick a groomer, right? I've never called Patrick a groomer. I never even really got in on the discussion of Patrick having the 17-year-old in his life because I wasn't there. I just saw the footage like everybody else. Yeah, it's kind of weird the interaction that he was having with the 17-year-old, which is not the type of interaction I was having with iCreep because, like I said, iCreep was not my mod. The only time iCreep came in the box is to speak from a child's point of view when it came to abuse, sexual abuse of children, physical abuse of children, domestic violence that she witnessed her parents go through as a child. She's speaking from a child's perspective. I wasn't having no personal conversations with her offline. Matter of fact, that didn't happen until Tanya stepped in and they wanted to create a Justice for Palesa group, which I made clear from jump. I don't even want to be a part of it. Y'all can have that group. I'll support it, but I'm not heading it. I'm not making any details in it. I'm not coming up with any ideas for it. That's on y'all. I'm focused on what I'm doing. And mentoring, I speak from a distance because I set my boundaries where I speak. I creep know that I'm an adult. You're a child. So there are going to be some conversations we just ain't going to be able to have because I'm an adult and you're a child. And it's not me trying to tell her that she doesn't have experience or a mature mindset to have these conversations. I just know at 17, 18 years old, it ain't nothing nobody can really tell you. So I'm not about to be sitting here arguing with a child. So I set my boundaries where I creep. So when you ask me what is the difference, I don't know because I don't even know
I'll
the
speak to the
foundation of the
difference.
question here because I'm not the one that's calling. I called him a child abuser because he is. His records came out, but I've never called Patrick a groomer because I don't know nothing. That shit happened before I came on here. I know what I saw. I know that I saw his actions, his interactions with these 17-year-olds or whoever the fuck these people were was kind of weird. But that's not the interaction I had with iCreep. So there's the difference. I set those boundaries. I let her know I'm an adult. You're a child.
I would like to speak to the difference of between I Creek being in Police's live and interacting with people to the difference between Patrick's interactions with 17-year-olds and minors, okay? I seen a 17-year-old calling Patrick baby that was his moderator that he speaks to on and offline. I sit there and watch Patrick talk about his Twitter and whatever he has on Twitter. I see him have inappropriate conversations with minors. He duetted a 17-year-old little girl video and sexualized her. I have seen Patrick do so much. I seen him attack a 15-year-old and said he's going to F his mother. I don't see that type of interaction going on with iCreep at all. And again, when everybody found out about iCreep age the same way, when she wrote it in the comment section, that's a huge difference. And that's groomer behavior from one side to the next. You don't see the interaction, those type of interactions with iCreep as you see with Patrick and his 17-year-old moderator that's 21 now. And the multiple other instances that we see that he does in front of his own children that hear him every day. That's a huge difference.
I want to speak to this. Somebody did say that iCreep was in spaces attacking other adults. I did see that too. And that's what I was talking about, that I think like some adults around her potentially were using her. That's where that comment also came from. I saw a lot. Now, granted, she
I
did
like to
act
say
on her
that.
own, but I do think, I don't know, she was doing a lot. But I will say, I understand.
That's her mother's to say something to her, not
I
us.
understand that we want to take the stance that it's the mothers, but we are also adults and we have to watch our interactions with children as well. So I need everybody to stop excusing like it's just the mother. It is the mother's responsibility, but it is also our responsibility to act appropriate around children, even they are not ours. That's what I believe. Now, I can understand it from Palesa's perspective and her thinking that it's different. I didn't ask what the difference is. I said that I don't think that it's different because I don't. I don't think that there's any difference. I think for me, if I know somebody's 17,
That
if I
wasn't
have
sensitive
knowledge
though.
of, if I don't have knowledge of it, then I can't speak to that. But if you're in my space and you're in my space tough at 17, I'm not letting you in my space, and I'm also not accepting money. But I did also say I do understand, because I did hear the recording with Blaze. I do understand in a time of need, somebody taking money from any angle, right? So I get that, and I understand that perspective. I need people to understand that I'm not for or against, and neither is my sister or anybody else. Everything is a matter of perspective. Just because I feel a certain way don't mean everybody else. But what I see in these comments and what I see on these panels is everybody doing the same thing and everybody pointing the fingers. Some people do things that are more in excess, and it's worse than the other people, right? So like we take the situation with Genty and we take the situation with Silverback, right? They both were child abusers. But you have to admit that the extent of the injuries when it comes to Silverback was definitely more intense than it was in the other. Now, both
I'm
things are
sorry. I
wrong.
can't
But
agree with
listen,
that.
Y'all are so
no,
upset
hold
That's
on.
way
in
too
Listen to
here
what
far for
I'm
right
me.
now in the
saying.
comments.
Both
Stop being
things were
upset.
definitely, both things are bad, right? And both people are both child abusers. But the extent of abuse can be more
Bro,
on
he
some
fractured a
times.
3-month baby bones,
Yes,
their
and I think that that's
clavicle.
Hey,
bad.
What are
I
what?
think that that
pause
is
for a second.
bad. Don't
No,
twist
I
what. No,
think I
hold on.
think first of all we
Let me
getting
be
this
clear.
timeline
Let
wrong.
me be
That
clear in
baby
the
was
comments.
6 weeks
Let me
old.
be clear in the comments why people are asking why I'm comparing. What I'm saying is both actions are wrong, right? Both actions are wrong. But this action, you like, dang, that's a little bit. Wait a minute. You like, wait a minute. This was a 3-month-old baby. How can you do that to that baby? That's wrong. Then you got 3 kids over here you abused. 3? Like, it's bad on both ends. But what I'm
Abuse
saying
is
is
Abuse
abuse.
too.
I'm
abuse is
sorry.
abuse.
Patrick abused
Ooh,
2 children.
wow.
Oh well, two
2.
children. Both
One
are
had a
gone.
2-inch gash in their face,
And see
and the
what
other
Ray
had
said. What Ray said
more
to
than
me,
5 fractures, and 6 weeks old at 3 months.
child.
If the
That's
fractures were
bad.
6 weeks old
So
at
if
three
we're,
months, then that
but
means he
see,
did it to the
here's
baby
my
when the baby
point.
was
Here's
six
my
weeks
point.
old.
Here's my point in that, and the comments are proving my point, and y'all are too. So in that sense, y'all are saying abuse is abuse. So then why are we making a difference in if somebody is a mod versus somebody being in the box? So if
This have to do
hold
with
on,
it
so
being
if
a mod.
abuse is abuse, right? And if we're talking about people potentially, I'm not calling anybody a groomer, not even Genty, not even Palesa, not even Apple Sticks, and not even Carmal, because I don't believe, I don't have enough context to label anybody that, right? But if we're going to sit here and say that abuse to everybody, because to me, abuse is abuse, but some people, the extent of abuse could be more than the extent of somebody else's abuse. And that is a factual thing, right? So if we're going to say abuse is abuse, so then should we say 17-year-olds that are 17-year-olds, you get what I'm saying? No matter the circumstances, whether you're a
I
mod
don't
or
get
in the
what you're
box,
saying.
is inappropriate.
I'm so confused right now. I don't, and I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, boo. I don't get what you're saying. I really don't.
Okay, so let's take it out of it. Let's take the abuse part out of it. You think it's different for somebody to be 17 in close proximity to adult conversations, being able to be in those
Adult
spaces.
conversations, though. What adult conversations are you referring to? Because sexual abuse happens to children. Physical abuse happens to children. That's what I talk about on my platform. So I'm not sure what you're saying. Now, talking about how to fuck and how to suck and how to do all of that, that's what Patrick talks about on his platform. So that's the difference. I don't talk about fucking and sucking on my platform. I talk about sexual abuse and the effects of sexual abuse, being sexy, feeling sexy after being sexually assaulted, getting back to your sensuality after being sexually assaulted, healing from abuse. That's what I talk about on my platform. So yeah, there is a difference. What's the difference in your child being around a teacher and being around a sexual abuser? There is no difference, because that teacher could be the sexual abuser.
Can y'all hear me now?
So
Is it better?
I don't get what's being said. I don't get what's being said here. I don't get what's being asked here. I don't get what is going
Well, I
on
think
right
the
here.
question was very
Can
direct,
y'all hear
but
me
I
now?
think people misunderstood because abuse is abuse. But let's be frank, like there are different levels to abuse, which means that there are
17-year-olds should be in those
hold
conversations.
on.
I'm sorry. I'm responding to the comment
What they
section.
say?
17-year-olds should be. Who are 17-year-olds gonna tell? If adults are abusing kids, who the fuck do the kids tell? So they do need to be in those conversations. They do.
Y'all
They
can
do
hear
need to
me?
have a
Okay.
safe space with some safe adults to tell the truth, because they have to look up to adults to protect them from other adults. Like that's why I said in the beginning, it's a thin line. It is a very thin line between prey and predator.
I want people to be
But that
clear.
line is drawn.
They're talking about we
I
don't
don't
like.
do
We
or
just
talk about
think
what
that
Patrick does.
I
we
didn't
don't
even
like
bring up
Palesa.
Patrick. I wasn't
This
the
is
one that brought
not
up
about
Patrick.
not liking Palesa. This is about asking questions that people legit have questions that they want to ask. So if you knew anything, I actually believe what happened to Palesa where I Speak actually happened, which is why I'm blocked from I Speak. So to everybody in the comments that are like, you're coming for them. Why? And that's important.
Lala. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry.
Why can't people ask questions without being associated with somebody else? So y'all sitting here thinking because I'm asking her tough questions that I feel are relevant questions to what some people want to know and some people can't ask because they get blocked and muted. So because I'm asking her questions, I then have to be a supporter of Genty or I Speak. Please explain that to me because I'm blocked by both of them.
Honestly, that to me,
Can I speak,
hold on.
please?
And
Okay, I just want to
the
say
block
this.
to
To me, that
me,
means nothing that they blocked you. That can mean nothing to me.
That means because I talked about them and things that they didn't like and
That can mean, I mean, that
disagreed
still can mean
with.
Two
nothing
things
to
can be
me.
right at the same time.
That
I
doesn't mean where your
disagree with them.
intentions
I'm
are
not
coming
coming for
from.
her, but I also think that we should be asking questions to everybody, right? Just like I did for my first live. We are nosy. We asking the questions. That's it. That's all. Now, if people don't feel comfortable asking those questions, that's cool too. You know what I'm
You
Watch me
saying?
work.
answered the
Can
But
I speak
question
real quick?
multiple times. I
Because I don't
answered your
have long.
question multiple
and
times.
we offer you. I'm talking about the comments. So
Yeah,
I'm
can
gonna
I
let no
speak real
drama
quick?
allowed speak.
Hey, everybody on the panel. I just want to come in and speak to a couple things. One, we did find out that our kid was 17 when she was almost 18. She did a big reveal of herself right when, I believe it was right when she turned 18 or right before. When our creep came into the spaces, she had to be out of the space by a certain time. We had rules for our speak when she did come into it, and certain conversations as an adult she could not partake in. Like, I look at our creep like a niece, and when I say that this girl do nothing, well, let me stop calling her a girl because she's an amazing young lady. She is not being grown. She takes to heart. Her mother was there the entire time. Her mother has gotten on live to check people about that. See, everybody keep forgetting about her mama being there. Just because I'm not present in all of the conversation, I do remember back then how it was. Also,
You are correct.
when Palesa and Blaze had a live before, Blaze even said that he didn't allow our creep to be in his space, and he felt more comfortable, a little bit more comfortable, not completely, after he spoke to her mother. Now, Blaze, am I right?
Absolutely correct.
So I think that people tend to deflect from the situation that I Creep is a young, intelligent lady that wants to be a revolutionary for the younger generation. She don't need to be handled with kitty gloves. She comes in alive, yes, but she knew that there were stipulations and rules to her being there. And for the people in the comments that saying police that made her get the tattoo, I Creep did that on her own judgment. She actually surprised police with that. Police didn't know she was doing that. I think that people get so lost in the rumors, they don't want to face the fact. When it comes to the twins, they always help people. When it comes to iCreep, they always help people. And I'm gonna tell you something about iCreep. iCreep is not a person that she don't even look at the financial part of things. She tries to find resources to people for people. Am I right, iCreep?
Yes, you're
She
right.
tries to find resources because she have connections with the HBCUs and all of that. So I think people just got lost in the fact that there's drama on TikTok and can't separate drama from the real serious situations that's going on. People making a mockery of it, and I don't think this shit funny or cool. At the end of the day, if we're gonna be about the kids and protect the kids, then we should be applying that
Listen to
stuff.
them.
Yes, we should be listening to them. We should be having conversation with them, cause just think about us growing up. We learned from the generation before us.
Oh, real
They're learning
quick,
from
I'm
me.
sorry to interrupt. Sorry, y'all know the co-host and house can't interrupt. I do want to take some accountability real quick. I did have somebody message me on the side about my comparison, and I definitely, sorry, don't mind my cabinet. I definitely understand like why people think it wasn't a good comparison, and I'll take accountability with using like an inappropriate comparison. You know, I do understand somebody was messaging me, and I do take accountability with that comparison being way off. I do know it's a very sensitive thing. I do believe like
Appreciate that.
it was definitely
That's what's
Gypsy
up.
that did what he did to those kids. Abuse is abuse, so I do want to take accountability for that statement that I did make, because I know it did kind of like offend some people and shock some people, and that wasn't my intent, but it's always impact over intent, right? So I do want to apologize to anybody I offended, whether you are a
That's
child
what's up,
abuser
sis.
survivor or anything else. I want to take some accountability there, because that
That's what's
wasn't
up.
my intent, but it doesn't matter if that was my intent or not. So I do sincerely apologize. No more drama. If you want to go ahead and continue to talk.
I'm almost done. I just, I think that people got lost and caught up in their own what's the word I'm looking for? Their own vendettas that they tend to exploit these kids in these situations, the outside people, to use it as a weapon against people, and I think that's wrong. When it boils down to it, if we don't do what we supposed to for these kids, how they gonna learn? I think iCreep is like such a beautiful inspiration to the generation she's in and those after. So, you know, I think it's words to matches being played. And when it comes down to this app, you're gonna always have naysayers. You're gonna always have people that's gonna try and spin a narrative about you. But it's off. You gotta go off your own judgment. One thing police say is you go look at the information and you come up with your own decision. She don't try and force people to believe what she believes because she know that everybody look from different perspectives. So when it comes down to this app, people need to do better and really get their shit together. And these comments is disappointing. I'm gonna just say that right now. They're disrespectful. They're
Comments are
disappointing.
very telling. It's y'all hatred for me in these
And
comment
for
sections. It's the hatred
The
for me in
hatred for
these
and for
both
comment
of
the
sections
us.
I will
for
say
me
this.
and for the
I
because
did just
and for the clowns
mute
in the
somebody.
comments, cell
I
phones or mobile devices.
I did just block somebody in the comments. I will say to the comments, like I didn't believe Palesa because of what Palesa said. I believe what I believe certain things. Not because of what people say, but because of how someone else behaves. So like I look at somebody else's actions or reactions. Do I agree with everything that Palesa says or done on this app? I absolutely do not. Do I believe with anybody 100%? I absolutely do not. But what I will say is that yes, because of actions, I'm just gonna touch on this because people have been calling you a liar and stuff. I do believe there are what she said. I could see it because of how he behaves, not what she said, and I'll just leave that at that. Um,
I'm
and
gonna
I
just say I
think
appreciate
I
Cynthia
that
just want to
because
just
say
that's
one
all
more
I've
thing
ever
before
asked
I leave.
anybody to do.
No,
Look
let's
at
not
both
I
sides.
creep.
Don't believe it because I said it. Don't believe it because I
when it
said it.
comes to that,
Watch his own actions, listen to his own words, and
we
come
gonna
up with your
stay
own
clear
conclusion.
of kind of going into that because again,
All I had to say, I'm done.
Can
we
I
not
say
gonna
something
talk
real
about
quick?
that
Watch me work.
because it's too much. That's just not. It's too much uncertainty. So I think that we should just like kind of step away from that and go back to like just these actions like with the kids and with Safi and everything
That's
else.
what I wanted to comment on before I step down.
The word
One,
again?
that's why I said that I'm finna make it quick because my next
Okay.
statement was to be that you've been sitting in this box, and I noticed that it's been a lot of over talking when it came to iCreep. I noticed that every time she said something, it was a comment made or questions asked, and I think people should let her speak because she's very, very intelligent, very.
Was breaking up most of the time, so I'm not going to agree with that. Her phone was breaking up, and nobody could hear
Okay.
her.
All right, let's
Thank you,
move
because she
forward.
definitely was allowed to speak even in the other live, but I couldn't hear her. I do apologize, but let's let iCreep have the floor.
Yeah, and I'm finna drop down.
Okay.
All right.
Can y'all hear me? Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you drop me
Yes, we can
down?
hear
I don't
you.
know how.
Okay, so I just kind of want to say this, right? As far as me attacking adults, I feel like more people are more worried about how I responded versus what happened to me or what they said to me because I was in the comment section minding my own business and Patrick decided to host lives and panels about my age. So as far as people bringing up Patrick and his 17-year-old moderator, Mo, whatever her name is, that was not me that brought that up. So that was incorrect. I didn't bring up Patrick. When it came to me, I just said that Palesa did not know when I was 17 years old until I said it in someone else's live in a comment section. And I was only a couple months from being 18 years old. Like, that's just, what I wanted to address. So, but a lot of this, I just feel like, some of it, it's just my opinion that some of it is being cherry picked, but that's just, my opinion on that. But, I just kind of feel like that. I mean, I know you say you wasn't going there, Palesa, but, it kind of felt that way because it's not the same situation. And you did say you take accountability for it and everything like that. But, that's just kind of what I wanted to say. I didn't want to say too much. But as far as me attacking adults, I don't feel like people should be worried about what I said back to them because I didn't cuss out no adults while I was 17 years old besides Alicia. And these adults that I did not cuss out sexually harassed me, sexually harassed my parents, swatted me. They did a lot to me, tried to call my school, tried to call CPS on my mom. So they did a lot to me and I did not cuss them out. So, but I should have went back and I should have cussed them out from the very beginning, from the jump. That's what I regret not doing. I feel like people are so focused on what I'm doing and what I got going on, and I just think it's weird behavior.
All right. Somebody in the comments did say you attacked them for being in a space. I think that these are good questions and good lives to talk about. But what I will say is why I don't think anybody should be counting anybody's pockets. I see a lot of that like happening back and forth on both sides, right? I do think if somebody is potentially scamming, like that's a little bit different situation. So when people say like Blaze, I think explained this before on the live I did about Patrick, and I know you saying people have you blocked. Does it mean anything? It absolutely does, because it means A, they could be potentially avoiding something, or B, they know that you just don't rock with them like that. So
No,
I
I was
think if
saying
you
that meant not like something to me. Like they could have you blocked for any reason. I don't know. That really doesn't apply for me. You know why they have you blocked, but me, you could be telling me anything. That's why I say it means nothing to me. So, I mean, cause some of these people be faking on this app. They'll act like your friend and like they ain't friends with other people and things like that, but they be having ulterior motives. You got to look at things on this app from all angles.
I agree with that, Blaze. So I do understand that. Sorry, y'all spoken. I do understand that, Blaze. So I do understand why people question, excuse me, the motives with me and my sister, because y'all don't know who we are. So, and then our first live we did was about Genty. And now we doing a live about Sophie and Apple Sticks and that whole thing. So I do understand why, because I do see on this app from both sides that people coming after people coming after people, family, people coming after supporters of people. I can see people coming after everybody on every side and every angle. So I kind of understand like why people defense are up. I definitely understand. Oh, Tanya Michelle is in here. Tanya Michelle, I
Have
would
few
love for you to come
examples
up
of
because
that
I
because
do have
a
some
lot of people
questions.
say that. A lot of people say they see it coming from both sides. See what coming from both sides? Because I ain't never attacked nobody on this app. I ain't never doxed nobody on this app. I ain't never put no information out on nobody on this app. I ain't never went after nobody that didn't say something or come at or do something to me first.
Yeah, but you've been in
When
proximity with people that have done that though.
who? Tell me who? Blaze ain't never done that. I creep ain't never done. I ain't never seen I creep do that. I ain't never seen I creep dox nobody's information or go after nobody's kids or put people's social security numbers on. I ain't never seen that. So I'm trying to figure out when y'all say both sides. Both sides what? Both sides have done what?
Well, from our perspective, I've seen both sides do some of everything
Do
that they're
what?
I already talked about that. Talked about
Okay,
kids.
who on
I've seen people
on what
from
you
I've
perceive
seen
to be my side?
individuals
Who put
from
somebody's
both
information out?
sides. I've seen individuals from both sides do the same thing. People asking for receipts. My receipts is what I saw. If y'all
Like
didn't see that,
what?
if no one
What
else
did
saw
you
that, then
see?
that's
What did
cool.
you see? Okay, what did you see and who did you see do it?
Somebody said Blaze dropped Silverback ex-wife social security number. Blaze already I'm gonna speak to that because I did see that happened. I don't think that was intentional. I did see a live where Blaze took
That was not a
accountability for that. I did see I believe, if I recall, when Blaze did put up Silverback's wife's information with the social security number, it was something that was written in, and then somebody corrected him on that live. I don't remember who it was, and I think that was an error. I do think when we're sharing information, we got to be
It was Miss
careful.
Q.
Yeah, like, and I do remember you taking some accountability for that. If I'm not gonna lie about that, so
Yes,
he did take accountability for that.
and I took
Ray,
it down.
now that Ray the Fixer is up here, Ray will let you say a piece.
Um, when you guys start to say on both sides, uh, just because we have a common goal, like to get Patrick Jensen removed or deplatformed, because technically, according to the guidelines, he doesn't belong here, doesn't mean that we are friends or that we agree with everything that that person does. We all commonly agree that Patrick shouldn't be on the app. That doesn't mean we support each other's actions. And I want to make that clear, because people automatically say that you're with this person because you got a common goal. The common goal brings you together, but that doesn't mean you are texting each other, that you are friends, that y'all going to the movies. None of that is happening. The goal is to remove Patrick off the app because he harmed his children and he shouldn't be up here. And if we can go after Silverback the way we did, then it should be fair game to address Patrick and get him removed. But it seems that people lose all sensibility when it comes to someone that they support. They totally just dismiss all their wrongdoings. And then they start doing false equivalents. Oh, you got a traffic ticket, so you shouldn't be allowed to talk about child abuse. Oh, you got evicted, so you shouldn't be allowed to talk about child abuse. These things don't matter when it comes to a child being abused. These false equivalents. We are all allowed. This is our liberties to speak up about child abuse. And you should be ashamed if you aren't speaking up about him abusing his child. It's not children. But we are all not on each other's side. Like let's just throw that away. That whole this side, that side. I'm on the side of right. So if it was somebody that I'm right now, so like we're in the same lives talking about Patrick's child abuse, if I find out that they've done the same thing, it's on and popping between me and them. And that's just how you should roll in general in life. You should be on the side of right, humanity first. But people miss that mark. And I really, really don't understand that.
When you break it down like that from your perspective, like I do understand that, but I did question at first too, because somebody that's aligned with everything that's going on has definitely done a lot harassment with Black women. But so for me, I'm like, oh my God. But you know what? I can understand it from your perspective, because I do believe, and I know for a fact that you are a true advocate out in the streets, not just online, right? So I can understand it from your perspective, and I can somewhat agree with it too, right? But we also have to look that people are going to look at that a little bit, right? And that's not saying that it should happen, because the focus should be like, okay, like what with the movement of getting them off the app, that should vote, right? But I did say this on my live when I talked about Genty, is that I do think that there are going to be a select few of individuals that are going to support him no matter what. But I also think that he has lost a lot of supporters. Now, do I agree with all the tactics? I'm sure you don't either. So I can understand you saying like, this is a common goal that we have. You get what I'm saying? And even though I may not agree, like I said before, everybody isn't supposed to or going to agree 100% with somebody else, right? And if there's other issues, then yeah, afterwards we can address those other issues. So I can understand it for sure to that point. But for some of us that knows what one particular person in general did, like it does raise an eyebrow. But I can understand it from your perspective. And I think I agree, because if that's what the focus is, like, I agree, let that be the focus. But sometimes it is things going on both sides. So you do question the motives. Just like I would question Genty's motives if he start all of a sudden calling Blaze something. You know what I'm saying? But he would have to have proof. There's proof of child abuse, and I didn't believe that Genty did it because of what everybody else was saying. I believed it because of the actions and the comments that he made. And that's how I made my determination. You understand what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
get it from your perspective of being like, look, this is the main focus. So I can understand that.
And let me also add that it is very difficult when you have a movement to find out everybody's background. You think people outside protesting that we see on television, they've done background checks in order for them to protest together? That's not realistic. And if we start subtracting people or diminishing someone's voice because they did wrongdoings, none of us will be able to come up on this app or even be able to protest, because we've all done something wrong. So we need to stop that narrative completely. Like, oh, he said he said something about Black women. So should he not be able to fight against child abuse? Should he not be able to say this is wrong because he might have said something to a Black woman at one point? And should I now, because I support Black women, not say, okay, go ahead and use your civic right to use your voice? I don't like, to me, it's just a deflection from the facts. The facts of the matter is we have an abuser on this app, and he needs to be removed because he abused his children, and also because the guidelines say he shouldn't be here. So we can't be stopping his money because he shouldn't be making any money on this app in the first place. And we need to stick with the facts at that point. And I've done
I have
many
a question
protests.
real quick. I'm
Wait,
sorry,
Scarlett,
Ray.
don't interrupt me.
Go
Don't
ahead.
interrupt me. I've
No,
done
I'm
many
just saying I have a
protests, and
question
I've
next.
never done
That's all I'm
any
saying.
background checks on anybody while they're protesting. I don't know their background. I don't know what they've done. But if they want to get out in the streets and help me remove a commissioner out of his seat, well, come on out and help me move a commissioner out of this seat. Like, sometimes there is a bigger fight than these little minute fights that's happening on the sidelines. We could deal with that later. But the big problem is a predator's on this app, and he has access to children. And nobody's talking, not enough people are talking about it. I won't say nobody's talking about it, but not enough people are talking about it. And that's just the facts. They're too busy distracted by the face. Oh, Blaze is doing it. Ray's doing it. Sobe's doing it. Skollar's doing it, instead of doing the right thing. The right thing is to get him removed. You should be all for that, no matter what.
Now, sis, are you able to talk? Because you brought Skollar up, and I really like and don't want to be in spaces with Skollar. But sis, are you free?
And I don't know who you are, and I know you're talking about me. So I'm asking, what are you talking about that I did? So I'm here, right? You tell me, what are you talking about? Because the last time you talked about me, your live went down. If you want that to happen again, we could do it. Say it. I'm right here. What do you think that I've done? Because I don't know who the hell you are, and I never heard of your name ever.
Sister, if you want him
Scholar,
to
I
be in
don't
the box,
recall
you can
anybody
speak with
speaking on you.
So hold on, Scholar.
Nobody spoke on you, bro.
Scholar. Okay,
No, because
so
I
they
seen it
didn't.
in
Don't come
another
in here
live with
hot
like
like this.
14 people in
Nobody
it talking
spoke on
about
you.
me. So I'm
Scholar.
asking
They
you,
I
what's the
didn't.
problem?
was
Who are
because
you?
I know that you're on a
Scholar.
movement with Miss
Scholar.
Ray. Like, don't come in here
Scholar.
on that.
The comments were bringing up your name. She didn't
sis.
speak
Nah,
on
she
you.
was. No,
What
I
do you
know
think is
exactly who
going
she
to
is. Somebody
happen?
sent me the live. She been talking about me. I don't know
What
who
do
the
you
hell
think
you
is going
are.
to happen, sis? Like, I don't understand what
No,
we've
I
talked
brought
about
him
this
up. I
offline,
think
but
he's coming up here for Miss
this your
Ray.
space, but you already know.
Scholar. So we're having a dialogue here. No, the fact was brought up that your name was brought. It was in the comments, and she just
Yeah.
mentioned that we're working together for whatever particular reason, and they're bringing up the fact that you did X Y Z to Black women, and she didn't
All
bring
right,
up your
cool,
name
though.
in the
That's what I want to
comments.
know. What did I do?
The
So whoever
comment,
just said that,
Yeah,
explain what
but
I
you
did.
coming in here
comments are
hot
bringing it
though.
up
You
and
coming
saying,
in
You
here
coming in
hot,
too
and that's
hot,
not
Scholar.
gonna
You
work,
can't have that conversation
Scholar.
handling things like that.
let's
You can't come in threatening
That
people.
can't, you can't come in here hot like that.
Like, you coming in hot. Like, if you want to have dialogue. Then let's have dialogue. But if you
I mean,
come
she
in
just
approaching
openly
people
said she
hot,
doesn't want to
you're
talk.
not going to get
Obviously, she doesn't know
dialogue.
anything about me, and she doesn't want to talk. I mean, I don't
This
want to talk
is
to her
what he
either.
hold
does.
on.
This is so immature. We never get anything done
So
because of people's emotions. Like, you don't have to agree, but we should be able to have dialogue. That's
I mean,
just
it's funny, right? Let me say this, right? To all of y'all in the comments that
it's
keep calling me a
exhausting.
murderer, right? Why don't you come from your real page and call me that? Show your real face, your name, and call me that. But you can't, can you? You want to keep in the comments, keep calling me a murderer. It doesn't affect me. I'm a combat veteran, so what? I'm sure that was the first, and I mean the accident wasn't the only one. So I don't understand why you keep bringing that up. You keep bringing up doesn't change the fact that Patrick abused his child, a 3-month-old baby. It doesn't change that fact that he broke that
Real
baby's
quick.
bones. It
Scholar,
does
I
not
see the
6
change it.
week
question.
old baby,
Sorry,
y'all. A
Toby. I
six
see
week
the
old
question,
baby.
Scholar.
Thank
I
you.
will
Not
let you
yeah,
up, but
three
you
three
come
to
in
4
too
week
hot.
old baby.
Well,
Yeah,
like
you
they
come
said,
in
the
too
baby was
hot,
3 months.
Scholar. So
If
I'm
the
gonna just
baby
let
was
you
3 months when they
chill out
found
for a second, I
the
guess.
fractures, and the fractures were 6 weeks old, then that means that the baby was 6 weeks old when the fractures happened. So that baby was 6 weeks. He wasn't even 3 months when Patrick did this to him. He was 6 weeks old.
Take that
Six
in.
The
weeks.
other
That's
one's fake.
disgusting, guys.
6 weeks. For y'all to fucking defend that shit is weird as fuck. And y'all
Uh,
say y'all protecting the kids. Y'all up here having all these motherfucking lives and panels about kids and in the comment section talking about kids. And y'all are defending, the majority of y'all in the comment section are defending this man. That baby was 6. Ain't nothing on this planet that baby could have done.
Kiva,
Nothing that baby could have done to make him react to that child like
Kiva,
that.
Kiva, the
sick.
deflection is from you all in the comments because you all in the comments keep bringing up what my accident and my record. Y'all are deflecting from the fact that he broke his 3-month-old baby's bones and lacerated the other one's face. That's why y'all keep bringing up my record. My
I
record
do
has
think
nothing to do with child abuse.
I do think that we did circle to Genty when that wasn't really the original topic, but I do think that we are. I mean, if you heard it, you heard it. Like, I mean, how can you not? You know what I'm saying? Like, we heard it. You get what I'm saying? So, like, I don't
And how to
know.
support it.
But I will say that that goes back to my statement. People are going to support who they support. So I think like this is what this is why I mention both sides, because from the perspective of somebody outside looking in, it does look like some of the things outside of what you're trying to do, Ray, and everybody trying to get him out off of this app, but some of the same things outside of that, people have talked about each other, pulled up each other's records, talked about people's kids, talked about unaliving each other, talked about meeting up, like talked about, like, it's so much, you know what I'm saying? So I do see, I don't know who started what or who started with who, right? So sometimes I think what happens in all of these situations, that you do have a set of individuals that are like, well, damn, are y'all just all, not you specifically, Ray, because I haven't really seen you in too much of drama talk or messy talk, but I have seen other individuals in that. So it does raise a question sometimes, like, is everybody just out to get everybody? Now, I don't really subscribe to call out culture or cancel culture, because I don't really think people can really be canceled. Look at R. Kelly. People still sick and supporting him. Like, so I think like we can take away certain supporters from people. Like, this is just my belief. And I do think that people have the power to get somebody off the app, especially if it's something that goes against TikTok guidelines. But what I'm saying is some of the other things and other behaviors, like, it is on both sides sometimes, right? So I just think like there's so much discussion of so much other messy stuff. And when people in the comments, I'm not even looking at the comments right now, but when people in the comments are saying like, you know, so many things are messy, and yeah, I've said that we're just nosy, because we are, right? All of us are, which is why, not all of us, but some of us here in the comments, like, that's why y'all here, y'all live jump and y'all go to different sides. I do believe everybody's going to have their supporters, but I do think like I said, I wouldn't be in the box with Skollar, and I wanted my sister to take over. That's a boundary for me. That doesn't mean that I expect everybody to have like those same boundaries. I don't. We're all individuals. I personally don't want to be surrounded with somebody like that, but I do understand it from the perspective of if somebody's saying that they're trying to save children or to get predators or to get child abusers or to get SAers off this app, I then do understand people linking up with people that they necessarily wouldn't link up with or don't fully agree with how the way that they run things, right? I don't think Ray just thinks like Skollar's this wonderful person. I think that there's a common interest there. So I can understand it from that perspective. At first I didn't, but just hearing it, and that's one thing
So
about
you
me.
still don't want me to bring them up, sis? You still don't
So
want me to
let
bring
me
them
If
up?
tell you
you bring
something.
Skollar up, you can take over hosting, and I'll just fall back into the comments because for me, that's a boundary for me. You know, if I'm hosting,
Watch
he's
me
not
work.
allowed in my space. He's allowed in your space. You watch Skollar, you follow Skollar, I don't. So that's a boundary for me that I'm going to set. So
Watch me.
if you want him to come up, that's totally up to you. But you will have to then handle this conversation.
Watch me work. Watch me work. I'm gonna do, let me do something real quick for everyone in the comments right now. I want you to put a 1 if you believe that I was an active duty Marine, and a 2 if I wasn't.
Scarla, if you're gonna come up, can you come up peacefully so we can establish a conversation? Because I don't think this is a attack on you. People are just speaking about what they've heard, which is fair. I mean, you're the first person to say you don't care what people say about you. So then you need to apply that right now and just come up and have a reasonable conversation.
Well, it looks like that.
If you're going to come up anyway.
It looks like, guess what? The people that know the truth are actually ignoring the people in the comments telling the lies, which is all the llamas. Bozo. Tell Kappa to put her DD-214 up. Because I don't believe she was in Iraq. She's a liar, stolen valor. But keep on with the nonsense on this app.
And I just want to do a quick correction, Ray. It's not even what I heard about Skollar. It's what I've seen from Skollar. From me personally, I can't speak to nobody else but myself, right? I can only speak to the things that I've saw and that I have bear witness to. So that's why for me, like when I host lives, he's not welcome in my space, but this is my sister's live. Whoever she wants to let up and whoever she wants to be in her space, I'm cool with that because I have enough respect for my sister to understand that this is her platform. I'm a co-host, right? So I can only this her shit. You know what I'm saying? Like she the host. I know it seems like I've been hosting on her platform. I guess I have, but if she does want to let Skollar up, sis, like you'll have to take over hosting. I don't have a problem with it, but you'll have to take over.
Crickets, crickets. All right, I'm gonna let him up for a minute. Scott, I'm gonna give you a chance. If you don't do right, I'm gonna have to let you down. Cause I mean, in real life, this my sister. I ain't trying to get in trouble by our mom and shit. You feel me? We just out here to be nosy. You know what I'm saying? I still gotta see her at the cookouts and shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so we gonna give you another try. Cause I follow you. You feel me? But if my sister don't like you,
YSB, I think that your comment is going to offend a lot of people. I think that you should stop saying those type of comments about black women. I'm a black woman.
Okay, like I said, just stop talking to me. I don't know who you are. Nobody knows who you are. Just stop bringing me up. I don't bring anything about you. I've never heard of you. I still don't know who you are. I've never been into your lives. So just stop
no,
bringing
it
up my
was the
name.
comments bringing you up. So the
No, it
nobody
doesn't
brought you
matter.
up. It was the
Whoever that
comments.
is, watch me. Nobody knows you. I don't care what you think
That's
or
my
what. Just
sister.
don't stop bringing up my name.
Scholar.
How attention she's not really
Scholar.
too funny, you can say, you know what, I'm not too good to her. She's entitled to say that. So,
Okay,
and
then how
moving
about this? Then
forward,
fuck
like
you
she
and
want
suck
no
my
pressure
dick.
with
How
you.
about
However,
that?
she's
I don't give a
entitled to
fuck.
say
We
that.
You
can
ain't gonna have this
hear if
fucking bitch
only
up
for
here
And
keep talking
honestly,
about
right
Palesa.
me
now, you
when I
proving
told
her
the
a little
fucking bitch to
right.
stop
Like
bringing
this
up
is
my fucking
facts,
name.
dude.
I don't fucking know her.
Oh, okay.
Nobody fucking knows her. Stop bringing up my fucking name. I don't know who the fuck you are.
Okay.
How about that?
There we go. I'm trying to get him
I
down.
don't.
Scholar. What the?
Scholar, you can't come up here and do this.
He just
See?
wanted some attention. Thank you, though, for bringing Jackson to the live.
And this
Go,
is
this is
why I
exactly
said
why
what
I
I
don't
Thank you
said.
believe
so
in
much.
that aligning with people. I don't like, and y'all know I don't have no direct issue with Scholar, but this is exactly why. And Ray, I'm not coming at you. I'm not saying you wrong. This is just my opinion. I don't believe in that aligning with people just because we on the same. We're going to the same. We want to get the same thing done because some of these people are not meaning well the entire fucking time.
That
So
doesn't
when you
matter.
do get to the destination,
I don't know. I gave him a
to
shot.
me
That's
it
what he
does.
wanted
I'm
to do
speaking
with
my
it.
opinion. To me it does. To me, to align with somebody like that and say I'm fighting for kids, or to align with people like some of these people on this app, I don't give a
And
fuck
I mean, if I
what
can be
the end
real
goal is.
and
I will never
interject, he
align with them.
just
I will never align with them. That's what got me fucking SA'd. Aligning with folks that I thought that even though I don't like this person, even though I don't care for this person, even though I think this person is on some bullshit, I'm gonna give it a chance anyway. And then what happened? End up getting fucking SA'd.
yeah,
That's exactly why I personally,
I
that's
don't
my
really
opinion.
understand that.
I don't believe in aligning with people just because we have the same fucking goal. Because
Me being fair.
your intentions can be totally different from mine, and I'm not about to do that.
Mm. Let me interject, Lisa, real quick. In all fairness, I did give him a shot because I have been on numerous platforms and I've been blocked. Haven't really been doing nothing. He disrespected my family and us black women. Like, we got to stick together. You feel me? Like, bitch. Like, come on, bruh. It's really not that deep. We don't want no pressure. I don't want no pressure with nobody. You know what I'm saying? We just here just trying to ask questions that we can't typically do on anyone else's platform. So if he wants to block me, because I do follow him, you know what I'm saying? I follow all of you guys. You know what I'm saying? I support you. However, yeah, he's upset and alive. It's not really like me to mute or block. Sis, if you want him out of here,
I
you
meing, this is
can.
your look. This
He
you
calling
already
women
know
out
how
their
we
name,
do
black
things,
women out their name. I couldn't align with that.
and
He up here
Uh,
calling y'all bitches and
you
stuff. I
have to
could not
kind of
align
uh,
with that.
understand. I understand,
Not talking about protecting
Palisa.
children.
Palisa, I
I
get
think
it.
this is like nonsense because
I
I've
do
seen people
too.
align with people who dox folks,
I do
who've
too.
been disgusting, and now we all have
that's
this
it.
moral
You
compass
gotta
of
watch
what we
the
won't
door.
do. Like
You
that's
gotta watch the
nonsense.
door because I did block that page just so
Speaking
he
for
could
me.
stop
That's why I'm
with that.
speaking for my
Because I
shit.
think it only mute
That's
for like a
nonsense.
few
Like,
minutes
I
at a
do think
time.
that it is a lot of just like okay, Palisa. I definitely because I also wouldn't align myself, but I
I
also
don't
understand.
align myself.
Well, not
So
align.
don't put
Sorry,
that. Don't say that I
sorry.
align with what he's doing. I have a
She
common
don't.
goal, and
You
that's
know,
what I'm focused
I'm
on.
gonna drop out because this is bullshit. Because Ray, you was just in there flirting with that man. You was
I
just in there
don't think.
calling him
Hold on,
handsome.
real quick,
Y'all
because
talking about going to
I
dinner
don't think
together.
that it's
Bye,
bull.
y'all. I'm out. I don't do
That's
that. I
all
don't do that.
jokes.
You
Okay,
can't
And
play
I
in
can
my
do
face.
whatever I
listen.
You can't
want.
play in my
Hold
face.
I
on,
can
because
do
Y'all
whatever
have a
I
great
want,
day. Thank
Felisa.
you
I
for
You
don't
letting
don't
me
think
up.
that
But
it's.
this is
you
some
cannot tell me what to
bullshit.
do ever
This
in
some
a
Hold on,
bullshit.
lifetime.
listen. Hold
This some
on, Ray. I
bullshit.
don't
Y'all
think
know
that
it.
We
it's.
only in the same space
Hold
because we're in her
on.
space.
I
But
don't think that this
naturally, I
is
do not talk
bull.
to you.
I don't
So
think
please.
I don't think what Ray is doing is bull, and I use the wrong words, and words are very important. I don't think that she's aligning herself with Skollar. I don't believe that to be true. I think she has a common goal. So I apologize, Ray, for that wordage that I use because words do very well matter, right? So I don't think it's necessarily for me, and I can only speak for myself that I don't think it's in alignment with that she agrees with him. I think they have a common interest, and she's just, we have a common goal. Let's focus on this goal. I can understand it from that perspective, but I also understand how it can look like alignment to other people because it did to me at first. I'm going to be honest, but I understand in listening. That's why I ask questions to people for clarity to gain my own understanding. So I understand it from Ray's perspective. That doesn't mean I have to agree with her. Right? So, like, if I can understand it from her perspective, I get it. I personally wouldn't do it, but I understand why, and it makes sense. I don't think she's doing it or being like malicious or like unaware of what he's doing. Now,
No,
just like,
some of this stuff that he's done, I had no clue about. People automatically assume because you're on this internet that you know every person's waking move. You don't. Just like I don't know every waking move that you have. You don't know every waking move that you're like. Even if you are close relatives, you don't know everything the people are doing. And so I don't know why people are so focused on me and Skollar. It seems like, raising the live with Skollar, talking about dinner. Why is that your business? I'm a grown woman. If I choose to be with Skollar after this, if I choose to sleep with Skollar right now, that is none of your business. That is not a
I'm
topic.
also
Like,
I'm
that's none of
also
your
saying
business. So I don't understand why that's a talking point.
I do
I don't
agree.
understand that. That just sounds like to me some kind of twisted warp sense of, I don't know, privilege that you think you have. Like, you don't have any privilege over my life. I can be around who I want, when I want, how I want. And there's nothing you can do about it. And you can't judge me. It doesn't matter. I put all my stuff out on the internet. My life is my own journey. Nobody tells me what to do in my life. I'm too old for that. I'm too mature for that. So I don't owe you no explanation to Palesa, to Tanya Michelle, to whatever his ex-girlfriend name is, that literally said that I have a felony, which I do not have. I do not owe you anything. None of you people are a part of my life in real life. Let's get that clear. I don't know you. And absolutely, you would not have access to me had it not been for this app. So stop acting like you can say something to me. You can't. I do not care for you. Police specifically. I think you are the most aggressive, distractive person I've ever met, even to your own movement. You're loud, you're aggressive, and anytime you come up in a platform, you turn it around and make it about you each and every time. That's why nothing can get accomplished when you're in the movement. So I
Now,
do not mess with you.
now,
So please not tell me I can be around. Your opinion will never matter to me. Your opinion will never, I swear to you, your opinion about me never mattered from the beginning. You don't have respect for people. And I noticed that about you. So I stay clear of you. I came in this platform because these are my mutuals. And I came to show them some love. And obviously they have 269 people up here. And if I can bring awareness to 269 people, so be it. That's called being an advocate. That's called being an activist. You get in spaces so you can talk about what you want to talk about. But you and I are not friends. And we will never be friends because you're disrespectful. That's it. That's all. And that's all I got to say. Nobody tells me what to do. Period. Point blank. I live my own life the way I want to live it. If I choose to be in Skollar's live laughing with him talking about dinner, which we've never been on. But if I choose to go to dinner, that's my business.
y'all have to understand something. This is why I could understand. I definitely
Tracy,
understand what
I
Palesa
don't
was
owe you
saying too.
nothing.
But this is why I understand. I understand both perspectives, and I'm always going to understand and listen to what people are saying. Like, I get what Ray is saying. I also get what Palesa is saying. Because listen to the situation between me and my sister. My sister, this is her platform. I'm co-hosting. When I'm on my platform, I have my boundaries. She know from the door that I will not allow Skollar to be in my live. She know from the door to block every single page, right? And she respects my boundaries. She may disagree, but she watches Skollar, right? I'm in my sister live. I seen Skollar in here and I seen him in the box, right? I have to respect the fact that even though I disagree with my own sister, this is my sister. If she wants to watch Skollar, if she wants to give him a chance, if she wants to in the box, if she doesn't want me to block him from the door, then I have to understand that. I really think we have to learn how to be adults.